Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom to the worldwide family. Peaceful Sabbath day today, y'all, as we get about our Abba's business. With all our getting, y'all, what we got to get?
Understanding.
Y'all know how we do it. We turn toward Holy Jerusalem. Men are to uncover their head. Women are to cover when praying or prophesying within the church assembly. With that, y'all, we get this prayer on. Uncover their head. Women are to cover when
All right, family. We're going to get this opening prayer. And it's with the Most High's permission. And it's in the name of His only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior and our Redeemer, our uncrowned King, Yahushua HaMashiach. But we know Him as Jesus the Christ, y'all. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 21st chapter, it reads, "The king shall joy in thy strength, O Yahweh, and in thy salvation how greatly shall he rejoice. Thou hast given him his heart's desire, and hast not withholden the request of his lips. Selah.
Selah.
For thou preventest him with the blessings of goodness. Thou settest a crown of pure gold on his head.
Yes, sir.
He asked life of thee, and thou gavest it him, even length of days forever and ever.
Yes, sir.
His glory is great in thy salvation. Honor and majesty have thou laid upon him.
Yes, sir.
For thou hast made him most blessed forever. Thou hast made him exceeding glad with thy countenance. For the king trusteth in the Most High, and through the mercy of the Most High he shall not be moved. Thine hand shall find out all thine enemies. Thy right hand shall find out those that hate thee. Thou shalt make them as a fiery oven in the time of thine anger. Yahweh shall swallow them up in his wrath, and the fire shall devour them. Their fruit shall thou destroy from the earth, and their seed from among the children of men. For they intended evil against thee. They imagined a mischievous device, which they are not able to perform. Therefore shalt thou make them turn their back, when thou shalt make ready thine arrows upon the strings against the face of them. Be thou exalted, Yahweh, in thine own strength, so will we sing and praise thy power. Hallelujah! Selah!
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all.
Yes, sir. All
Here we go again, baby.
Sir.
That was Psalm 21.
Sir.
No doubt.
All right, y'all. Shabbat Shalom once again to the worldwide family. First, before we get going, y'all know we like to always give an update on the sick or possibly shut in. I do believe Gamarai's youngest son, Joseph, is at home now. So all praises for that. Our Jeremiah also was released from the hospital feeling good. Talked to him last night, this morning, sounding strong as a horse. I say, don't nobody think about messing with that fish.
That's right.
But y'all, we did have a little bad news yesterday late. Y'all, our family, the Coolies, sister and the grandbaby was involved in a head-on collision. But prayers went up, y'all. All praises, man. Both of them at home. Just a few bumps and bruises, but for a head-on collision, both of them at home doing well. So all praises to the Most High. And all praises to the Most High for anybody else that's recovered, you know, from an illness, y'all, because we are getting in them times. We're getting in this flu season, y'all. We got to take care of ourselves as we get older. A lot of things out here in the air, y'all, from chemtrails to COVID to flu to everything else. Y'all, we got to have the whole arm of the Most High on us.
Chemtrails, all planes do.
Yeah, and he'll put that protective hedge around us, y'all, that if it comes in, we kick it back out.
That's right.
Also, just
Go
to
ahead.
add to that, Sister Yam's son
Said that from the beginning.
is gonna
Joseph.
Yeah, he's gonna need
What he gonna need?
blood clots.
Oh, do it?
Yeah.
He's gonna need blood thinners for the next 6 months
Okay, yeah, that's what
because
they do.
he had blood clots in his lungs, and she's asking for some assistance if anyone's in the Ruach moves anyone to help out in her situation because she's in a bad financial situation to
Okay.
help out. So I think Sis had put out the information.
I haven't seen it yet.
I don't know if
Send it to Naomi yet?
yeah, I don't know if she sent it to Naomi. but
Okay, well, we'll get that
we'll
straightened
get
out,
the
yeah.
information out for anybody who's willing to help.
Yeah, and if any can, Levi or Raphael, can y'all give Ema a hand real quick? Yeah.
Levi Raphael.
No. That's Levi right there. And that's Raphael.
That ain't how it sounded.
I know it's your way for
I ain't hear no comma.
I'm like, ain't this
Right, I
right?
did it.
Boy.
Okay, y'all, so today's lesson, y'all, is biblical law lessons. And it's going to be on the subject of kill, surrounded by law because we're talking about law situations. And every law has 4 sides to it, y'all, north, east, south, and west, of how a situation can happen for one particular event. When he say thou shalt not kill, that has many sides to it. But y'all, we're going over this lesson today again because of the naysayers and those that's chasing doctrines of demons is trying to inform us and instruct us on what the law of the Bible is saying. And the main trouble, y'all, we continue to have that we must continue to pound is the order of Melchizedek, our high priest, Christ Yahushua. We have to pound this end of that priesthood order. You can mention the Messiah all you want, but if you don't put him in the right priesthood, it's going to be a problem.
Yes, sir.
Yo, we have to understand that. Just cause you say Yeshua, but you believe Joseph is the daddy, you're still not drinking from this cup.
That's right.
Because there's law that say if a man entice a maid that's a virgin, he shall marry her. But what you're not understanding is that means if the deal has already been done, this is the fix for that. So if you say the Messiah was conceived in a fix, we got a problem with him being an unblemished lamb. Is that hard? That ain't hard, y'all. It makes him blemished when you say the law has to correct the behavior of his mother and father, if that's what you're saying. Shalom, mister. Yo, this ain't hard. And with all of the other things going on out there, with the world being introduced again for those who didn't know that we are the children of Israel. Y'all, we have to bid and observe. We got the purple gang out there that showed up doing some clout chasing. Mm-hmm. And we have to bid and observe because they are quoting a few scriptures, so-called, when the brothers sit down with a few people. But y'all, it's elementary. And what I mean by that, you can tell it's a curriculum. And when we talk about Hebrew Christianity, that's exactly what we mean. Dressed up together to look like one group. But what you're teaching cannot be found accordingly because you won't mention the priesthood. That way you can dibble and dabble back into the old schoolmaster and your students won't know what you're doing. You a cherry pick them to hell with that. Y'all, why we want y'all to understand why the order of Melchizedek is so important, y'all, it trumps Aaron. Because when the Messiah used it and David used Melchizedek, even being under the order of Aaron, when they had to trump Aaron. Like David ate the showbread, but for the priests only.
Mr. Bigfoot.
Y'all understand what I'm saying? When David ate the showbread, when it was given to him, that was a Melchizedek power move over Aaron. to make it plain for y'all to understand what we saying is, like you have state law, and then you have Fed law. Aaron is like state law, but Fed law could come in and trump state law.
That's right.
Feds don't care nothing what the state say. If Fed come in, they trump all state laws. It's the same law. It's just a higher authority.
But the problem, Dan, is that even the Aaron law said there's coming a law
Absolutely.
that's going to trump it.
Absolutely. On that level, it tells you about who has the power. So when you look at it from like Fed and state, you'll kind of understand what we're saying, who has the power. Fed law can go to any nation. State law can't. Feds will go over to Iraq. Feds will go over in Israel. Feds will go over in Syria. The same way the order of Melchizedek will go worldwide, because it started at the beginning. Adam was the first Melchizedek priest. All the way up into Jacob coming out of Egypt. Y'all, shalom, Imam. So y'all, we have to be clear on why we're saying this priesthood order. You have to listen for the priesthood, or you don't know who to go to eliminate your transgressions. And if you say he was conceived in transgression, you sure can't go to him. That's wasting your time, ain't it?
Right.
Missouri state troopers can't go to Israel.
No, boy, look here.
They the state troopers though.
Boy, state troopers. They ain't the feds.
Better stay in that state.
They better stay in that state,
They're not
Zim.
across that border.
So y'all, before we get going though with the lesson at hand, biblical law lesson kill, because we need to cover some things based off of how these naysayers are jumping in and out of the law, in and out of priesthoods, and the people don't know what they're doing, and they're getting confused about this thing called sacrifice. You know, sacrifices are done for good and evil. But when you get tangled up and it just sounds like it can only be done on evil, then they'll question you. And if you're not sound in your faith, y'all, we're going to get left behind. Shalom, Dr. Jeremiah.
Shalom, bro.
So let's get to lesson at hand. We got any questions? Any questions, y'all?
Uriah say, keep Hananiah up in prayer, family.
Definitely will. Sister Hananiah, Brother Uriah, will definitely keep sister up in prayer.
Always.
Any more questions out there concerning anything on anybody's heart, mind, or soul before we get rocking and rolling? What you got, sis?
I just wanted to add my son-in-law, Anthony Thompson, and my daughter, Sydney Thompson.
Prayers up for them.
Yeah. 'cause
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All praises, sister. We need prayer, y'all. That's the weapon we don't utilize enough. But if you ever get into the book of James, James get down with how you technically need to understand prayer from that Melchizedek high priest order, y'all, because that's who we have to go to.
That's right.
Look, we can't sacrifice no lambs and goats and bulls anymore, y'all, because we'll run out. Y'all, we out of control right now. So, y'all, we're going to get into this law lesson, and we're going to get some good understanding today. Go ahead, bro.
DJ C-Note asks, is that good for my father and mother to keep me away from my wife if she's my wife?
Is it good for my father and mother to keep you from? No, unless she's trying to kill you.
That's what it say.
If she's trying to kill you, yeah, get going. Look, it shouldn't be them that have to come and get you. You should get going.
Right.
If it's that dangerous.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, but you should, if you have a wife, you should already be separated from your mother and
Mother and father, right.
Right.
But if you with mother and father, something's wrong in that marriage.
Either that or
That
less.
you had to go back to mother and father, there's some serious strife.
Yeah, unless they keep coming in. If he's sick and in the hospital and they keep coming in there and the pillow got snot on it, then we know she may be trying to put him out.
Yeah, she keep.
And every time the nurse come in, she
she
put the
should
pillow
jumping
to the
back.
side. Yeah. So, but, not to cut you off. But if that's the case, let no man cut asunder. Can't nobody come in on that unless it's for like power of attorney moving to the next thing, which she still have the power. But if she's technically threatening him to the point that like that, it has to be power moving because he called us to peace.
Yeah.
Especially in the marriage. What you got, sis?
And not judging, but from experiences, it's two sides to everything.
Oh, ain't no doubt. Always,
Then
and
there's the
then
truth.
there's the truth.
Right.
So, but that's why you can't allow.
They might be asking us anyway.
You can't allow anybody outside of that to come in and not hear both sides. Like I
Right.
say, that's his mother and his father,
Right.
without us hearing what her mother and father have to say about this, you know.
Right.
Or even
Then we
hearing-
understand.
Even hearing his mother and father and why they doing what they doing.
Right, absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
And
So,
understanding why they want him away from us.
Yeah, but
it could
just-
be a real reason.
Yes, more to it.
but the common sense is, if it's harm and danger, get out of the way.
Yes, sir.
Under any circumstances. You know, because children are playing with things. A 10-year-old boy just killed his mama because she wouldn't buy him them goggles. Those virtual reality. Now, they say he been killing animals since he was 4 years old. Killed a puppy when he was 4. They charging him as an adult.
That's how Jeffrey
10
Dahmer
years,
started.
yeah. So that's
He was
how,
killing
you
animals
know.
when he was a kid.
So these things happen young, y'all, and we have to be careful the day and time we're in, because ain't no way they could have put him in them glasses, because that devil really was gonna have his way.
He'd had his
But he
way.
always told him it was an old man, 2 ladies, and somebody else always told him what to do evil with. And he said that's been on him since he's been 4 years old. That he keeps saying it's that old man and them 2 ladies that tell me what to do, and the devil.
Because sometimes the wife had enough of what the husband tried to do, and when the wife turned around and started fighting back, then sometimes the husband might get scared. I don't know the person.
Right, I mean, look,
I'm
she
just saying
could have
it's
did the
more to
Whoopi
it.
Goldberg point at him, but getting back to the adult side of it. But what I'm saying is, sometimes men have to get that Whoopi Goldberg, pointing, like when he was finna get again, she pointed like this. He like, uh-oh. That's that finger right there, man. I'm willing.
Because she was
Look, I
scared.
already tried. I was finna cut your throat, hadn't it been for
Right,
that lady you was scratching her head out while she was ailing. She stopped you.
right.
So it can get to them points, y'all, but that's why the script tell us we should be at peace with one another in those close quarter situations. You know why? Because you have to sleep together.
Yeah, but just like you can't let your parents dictate your relationship,
Right.
because the scriptures say when a man taketh a wife, he should cleave to his wife
And leave his mother and father.
Yeah.
But seeing y'all, look, we got a different situation. Like Abraham went to see Ishmael. He hadn't seen him for a long while.
Right.
When he got there, the first thing he asked the old man, there was no hospitality with the wife Ishmael was married to.
Change the nail in your
Your tent. So he was like, hey, she ain't doing no house, and then all that. But he said she was cursing out his grandchildren,
Change the nail.
cursing
in your
them
tent.
out, and then say, just tell him. She didn't even take time to ask who he was. She was cursing. He said, where Ishmael? I don't know where they at. Damn, don't ask me no question. Sit down, you black mother. Sit your ugly
Change the
nail in your tent. So that's where a parent had to intervene.
Right.
And when he came back the second time around, that nail had been changed. You know. So, Shabbat Shalom, Imam. So, y'all, we just wanted to get through that. We got another one. Go ahead.
Yeah, Maurice Richardson in the chat asked, what happens to the child if they die after killing or during the process?
Who?
When it says when close to or after the age of accountability.
What happens to a child
What happens to the child if they die after killing or during the
after
process?
killing?
Yeah,
Maybe they're talking about the animals we was
What that
talking about.
mean?
Maybe they're talking about the animals we was talking about, like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh, you
killed
talking about that
animals.
4-year-old, that 10-year-old that's going, that done killed in innocence?
Yeah, I guess on that.
Well, so we have to understand the Most High, because if he's not reached the age of accountability yet, because he's done an act like that, it'll be dealt with accordingly. Because when you have to put evil out of Israel, because it tells you if a child is so unruly,
And he disrespects his parents.
they will bring them to the elders.
Right.
And
And
the
then they
elders
stone
will
them.
take care of it. But look, it has to be the court system that does it.
Right.
It cannot be any individuals that straighten that out, because you have to turn them over to them, because you saying, I can't do this, and you can't. Who want to kill their own child? Look, Jake showed a case study the other day where a boy 21 stabbed his grandfather in the neck. The police came, killed both of them, trying to shoot him to keep him from stabbing his grandfather. They both fall on the ground. He been shot by the police. He's still stabbing his grandfather in the neck, and they just unload, but they shooting wildly. end up killing the grandfather too. Now, how do you look at that situation? We only called you, and look, he had just got out the crazy hospital 4 days before.
Who, the child or the grandfather?
The child. So what we got here is, when you call 911, it's a responsibility. We have to tell them, do not send the police. Send a crisis team.
Come on.
He just got out of the mental hospital. Don't send the police because they're not coming with the thought that he has mental issues.
They said in the mirror in the movie once, these guys are hammers. All they see are nails.
That's it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's all they gonna do.
So they're not coming with that gun that shoot beanbag rounds. Because if they'd have had that shotgun that shoot beanbags, and when they say put it down again, they'd have hit them with 2 of them in the chest, I guarantee he'd have knocked them over there where the big screen was.
If you get
but
two.
all he would have had was bruised chest plate.
Right.
And both of them would still be alive. But they come in there and the wailing of the mother, the husband the wife of the grandfather, and how she's wailing about her grandson. Oh, boy, that wail was outstanding. I mean, they shooting like it's 2 dogs on the ground and they don't know which one of them to kill. And I'm thinking, how is this protocol?
But see, now that's just like our brother
Too
Thaddeus.
scared to be the police.
You know, Thaddeus had a mental condition, and I didn't even know about it.
Right.
And he worked with me every day. But the police knew about it when they were called out to his mother's house that night. If they would have called one of us brothers, we would have been able to talk Thaddeus down.
Right.
But I didn't know Thaddeus had a condition
Mental.
where he was off of his meds, and he had put his mom out the house. They were all outside. They know the history. They got SWAT and everybody outside his house. He was just turned 23, 146 pounds.
Yeah.
But he had a knife in one hand and a Bible in the other hand.
Yeah.
A machete from Harbor Freight.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But the thing is that these police are supposed to be trained to handle these situations.
No.
And they should know, because they had responded to that house before, that he had mental issues.
Right.
But they told his mother was out in the front yard with him, and they told his mother, she said, don't kill him. And they were like, we ain't gonna kill him, man, we ain't gonna kill him. And he was on the porch, and they said, Thaddeus, put the knife down.
Right.
Because it's all on YouTube still.
Right.
But then you hear one shot, and they shot a rubber bullet, and they hit him. But in Thaddeus's mind, he probably thought, I'm going out, like a true, because they trying to kill me now.
Right.
So he rushed off the porch, all these police in all this gear, and you hear one of them open up on him and automatic gunfire.
Oh, yeah. At that
And kill him.
point, see, now they're justified because we try to take them down with less lethal force.
But they got on all this gear and they trained.
Yeah.
It ain't no justification. They murdered my partner.
Well, look, they came to kill. That group came to kill.
Yeah.
So they came to do what they did. When they got dispatched, it was, we may have to kill somebody.
Right.
So they're not coming for medical help or.
But they should have known that. They've been there before.
Right.
We just said that.
And that's what I'm saying. But they're not doing it. They're saying the resources are not there. We
Right.
can't do it. When we send them for a crisis, look, you
Right.
call us, we may kill him.
Right, exactly.
So you have to. So the onus would have to be now, y'all, if we find ourselves in those situations, to tell them. Make sure the 911 person here, do not
Right.
send them. Send the ambulance. Send emergency team. Send the crisis hostage person. Send that group. Because if you send the police, they gonna
You
kill
already
them.
know what they look
And I
like.
said machete from Harbor Freight because I have one.
Yeah.
And you ain't cutting through nothing with that thing.
No.
Right.
So y'all, that's the deal, y'all. This is what you face, in these times and days that we live in, y'all, because they don't care nothing about him with the Bible in his hand, with the Bible and the sword in one hand, told them in their mind he's a lunatic. He losing his mind. How can he be saying that with a Bible in his hand? So automatically they are prejudging this situation, y'all. But like I say, those meds and different things, now you got 2 people talking. The Most High say, grab the Bible and calm yourself. The devil say, no, get that sword. Get that sword. They messing with you again. And then you have that fight and that conflict in your mind. And then
That's
you
where it
battling
start
that,
first.
and
In
then
your
when you
mind is
invite
where it
a
start.
third party in, they are not going to because they don't know the things to say to you to talk you down. All they know, you better drop it. And see, it just sounds like a threat. And the devil whispering, don't let them talk to you like that. What they think you a punk
Who
or
they think
something?
you are?
Yeah. So y'all, that's just why when we say this is a spiritual war, it truly is a spiritual war, y'all. When it comes down to these things, you need supernatural intervention to remedy this situation, because it's finna get violent. And can you imagine how his mother lived when you call him and this happened? You didn't call him for that, but it happened anyway. And not only that, and then the child leaves before you. So now you got what's called survivor's remorse. Maybe I hadn't called him, but what if he'd have killed me? You know, so you have those thoughts running through your mind and you're trying to justify it. So y'all, that's why we're getting on this lesson today. It's gonna cover a lot of what we talked about today. I hope you got Choke sitting right next to Emo, because you finna get a host of
Well, you
medicine.
see, after looking at her, she looked, she couldn't get her.
She clicking her pen like she's gonna write it for
Made me think about my
So y'all, we ain't got no more questions, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and get with the lesson, biblical law lesson today, y'all. We're gonna hit on the word kill, because it has many aspects. And when you have people outside the Bible trying to dictate to you what the Lord, the Most High, have to say, and they're outside the Bible.
Right.
Like you'll have the Muslims say, when it say thou shalt not kill, it only means thou shalt not murder. No, that's what you're saying. Those are not the rules of the Bible. The Bible has its own rules. And how we know you're speaking the truth, because you'll explain it from the Bible what it means. Not from somebody else or some smooth charlatan. And have you all twisted up, y'all. But everything, since Christ was crucified, we are under the order of Melchizedek. You need to drill that in your head. If you have to say it to yourself over and over and over every day. Since Christ was crucified, we're under the order of Melchizedek, and he's the high priest. He's fed Aaron's estate law. Same laws, but one trumps the other. Like Missouri passed a law for recreational marijuana. Fed said that was the state. Fed said we ain't chimed in on it yet. We ain't decided, but we ain't gonna intervene on small matters unless something happen when it comes up to this level. Because you know what? If you piss marijuana and you getting a Fed job, you out of here.
You ain't got. It ain't got to be.
But
Fed
Missouri
job.
passed
State
it.
jobs,
Yes,
even with
Missouri
state
passed it.
jobs, regular jobs,
Until-
mom and pop jobs, they can say we still don't buy into that, and you can't do it.
Until it becomes Fed law or they change the requirement, which gonna come down the line, because it's gonna be impossible for you to be able to still drink and pass urinalysis. If you're able to do it, the only thing they're going to be on is opioids. That's what they're going to be looking for, because it's legal now. So they're looking at it the same way as driving with an open beer in your car. You got to be careful you don't have open things and your driving is impaired, because they're going to be looking for that. They just don't have a breathalyzer for it yet. You know, they pull up on somebody, you know, you've been sitting at this stop sign for 10 minutes. And you tell them, well, I've been waiting for it to turn green. They're like, oh, no, you intoxicated. With buds, you waiting on the stop sign to turn green? You've been sitting here too long. You impaired.
Leave my daughter alone.
Look, and you look at them in eyes, the flame of fire. They like, at that point, they may be able to, you know, to deal with you on the level of being impaired.
An hour later, the fire department stopped, and she was nodded out at the red light.
Well, that's a bad thing, sister,
Yes, sir.
because you can't be behind the wheel of a 2,000-pound vehicle and sleep with your foot on the brake and the gas pedal. That's going to be trouble, y'all. So, y'all, laws are different things. That's when we talk about killing, too. It's not just murder. You could be vehicular homicide. Like I say, being in a car, sleep like that, somebody tap on the window, your first instinct is to take off. And you take off, it could be children walking across the street. Now you got vehicular homicide. That's not murder. It led to the death of an individual, but it's not murder. It was not intentional. So did it kill? Yes, you shouldn't kill, but you know, it happens. And when it happens like that, you have to be able to deal with it, because in the beginning there should have never been war. But because we sin, it creates war. So y'all, we're going to get this lesson today. Y'all, we're going to get some understanding, and it'll go with all of the 10 commandments, each one. Love the Lord God with all your heart, might, and soul. That's got 4 sides to it. Not just one way. It's 4 ways to make sure you don't get caught up in idol worship. What you got, Tubai?
We got one more question.
Okay.
William White asked,
Who is that?
William White in the chat
Shalom, Mark William.
asked, are the 4 angels in the book of Revelations, chapter 9, verse 15, or which are under the river Euphrates,
Under the river Euphrates?
which are under the river Euphrates, the same ones in the book of Jude, chapter 1, verse 6? If so, why were they loosened before the day of judgment?
Under the rivers Euphrates? What chapters they reading? I ain't read that. Under
9 and 15.
the river Euphrates? Or you talking about Revelation 9?
That's 9 and 15. That's it.
Revelation 9, when the angel let out of the bottomless pit?
No, the 4 angels bound in the river Euphrates was that happened the last day.
Let's read it and get to the
Yeah, let's just get some understanding so I don't get threw off. Where that Revelation, what he saying? Revelation what? 9 and 15. Yeah, see, you have to back that up, because that's a trumpet being loose. That's one of the Most High's angels. See, so that's what we have to be careful of, y'all. And always, y'all, all throughout this Bible, it deals with subject matter. And what that means is the Bible always, in verse 1, is always going to be telling you what you're getting to study in the rest of the chapters. It may be subject matter, it may be verse 1 from the previous chapter going on into continuing in a story, but it's always going to tell you so you stay on point with what you're reading. So sometimes we always tell individuals to back it up 3 verses or move back forward 3 verses so you get the understanding of what you read. So you don't get caught in cherry picking, because once you do that, if you just said that one verse, everybody be figuring out what it means to them. So we'll back it up a little bit. Who got it?
Back it up to 1.
Back it, no, you want to go back to 1? No, let's just back it up at verse, let's do 9 and 9.
9 and 9.
Okay. Well, I tell you, do 1 and jump down. Go ahead, Zeb, do 1. Go ahead.
I just read it.
Go ahead, Zeb. Go ahead. And y'all, these are the trumpets, so we know there's 7 trumpets. This is starting the 5th trump. So when we get that in our mind, we know these are the trumpets of the Lord before his coming. This is the 5th trump. There's 2 more after this one. Let's go ahead, Zeb.
Revelation chapter 9, verse 1.
Yeah.
And the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth. And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit.
So an angel from the Most High was given a key. The 5th angel sounded, and it was a command to go to the key to the bottomless pit. So the one Jude is talking about the watchers who fell in Genesis 6. This is a different group. This group has been chained in darkness. They go from that chaining to the lake of fire. They don't get to come back and do nothing. That group that's held in darkness, that asked Enoch to pray for them, that group gets resurrected immediately to the lake of fire, because they should have knew better. It's like a police that's selling drugs and planting drugs. The judge should deal with him more harshly because they should know better. So that's a different group, but go ahead.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
And he opened the bottomless pit. And there arose a smoke out of the pit. As the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit.
So if y'all want a good understanding of that, if that volcano erupt and quit playing around over there in Hawaii, they're trying to get prepared for the largest and oldest volcano, active volcano. And it's trembling now, y'all. It's already spilling lava. And they saying they got a week before it starts to get to the neighborhood. It's a slow roll of liquid fire. And whatever gets in this path gonna be consumed. So, but when it let loose, it lets so much fume and ash up into the sky that you can't fly a plane in there because it'll clog the engine up. With the cold air and that smoke, it makes almost like a glue on the engine and everything. It'll shut a plane down. Yeah. And you come crashing down. So y'all, that type of event, when they open up the bottomless pit, the same thing gonna happen. A plume of smoke gonna come out. Yeah. And they're gonna appear to block out the sun and the moon. But these are good things because they warn us where we're at in prophecy. So if we see that CNN hitting on a mass level, there's been an opening and the plume of smoke is out here, y'all, we like, that could be the 5th trumpet blowing. Mm-hmm. See, because the Most High is going to let us know through his ordinance when we look around. Because if the sun and moon, satellite's going to be knocked out, phones may go out. Mm-hmm. Cell signal may go out, but when our natural lighting system, so to speak, our artificial lighting system created on the 4th day, if it goes out, y'all, we technically through. If the sun go out, y'all, we through. Look, the sun, they may say it's 30 out there, but the sun will make it feel 55. But at night, because the moon don't give out no heat. What you got, sis?
But it's a lot of people now talking about how with these hail phones, how the signals keep going out and how the certain things on the phones are changing that they can't change back.
Well, and look, that's why we're saying this right here, if you can't get rid of this and get this out of your life, it's going to be trouble when the mark of the beast come out. But look, this, what they're doing is they putting everything, your old thought process into this. This is becoming you. This is your counterpart. This is your twin. This your AI. It controls your consciousness. But this has to mirror what you truly think. They can't go in here and find out. You say you preach that word every weekend, but we see you've been on this site. Plenty of fresh fishes.
That's what you're going to call it today?
Big black. I love it.
There you go.
Look here, see, because that's what they're going to say. This is what you think after midnight, huh? It's the only way they'll be able, because Satan can't get into your thoughts. Only the Messiah can get into your thoughts. That's why he say go in your closet. It don't matter how loud you talk when you close that door. It dumbs Satan's and his demons' ears. But when you whisper your prayers, things that you don't mean, and those familiar spirits hear it, then they challenge you on it. Yeah. Like we read last week about Ishmael talking about being circumcised, and Isaac told him, look, if it came down to it, my father asked me to be sacrificed, I'd do it. But that was a conversation. And you got spirits out here listening for sin, and they go back and tell their master, you know he talking about you like a dog, and he said he dare you to come and try to, scare him. He gonna let you know. But he always talking when the sun is shining. He don't never talk tough late at night. Look, cause it's sleepy time. See, you can't get your boys. You got your pistol. Yeah, I got my pistol. Yeah, I wish the devil would come in here right now. The devil say, I'm coming. But both of y'all going to be asleep. I'm going to open the door to your consciousness, and I'll be in there. And while you kicking and fighting in your sleep, telling your boy to wake me up, he ain't going to hear nothing with his pistol.
If he do, he going to shoot you.
You, right. Don't you see it? No, I don't see nothing. So y'all, with that understanding, y'all, all this comes down to his word is above all his names. Meaning that no matter what you call the Father and the Son, if you're not keeping his word, you're just wasting words out of your mouth. You just know his name. Like people would ask you, see you doing something bad, and they would ask you, what's your... Boys, you John and Lucille's son acting like this? It's you. Look. You whose son, John and Lucille, and you doing this? Boy, your parents would die if they found out you doing this. So in like manner, y'all, that's why we have to be careful that we preach the gospel. And the gospel is not that we're just black Israelites. That's not the gospel. The only part of the gospel that consists of that is that you were given charge to preach that to the nation, that Christ was coming. He's the redeemer of mankind of all sinning. He's the high priest after the order of Melchizedek. That's the gospel. It just happened to be given to the nation of Israel to send it forth. But to teach a doctrine and say the gospel is to teach you Israel, and the only thing you got to back that up is sinning?
But see, that's
And
part
why
of,
you're here?
but part of the problem is don't nobody know that you was John's son no more.
Boy, look here.
They just like, who is you?
Who is you? Because your
Not
behavior.
knowing
ain't the
they know
same.
your parents.
Right. Right. Absolutely, bro. What you got, sis?
We have to walk the walk, not just talk
Talk
the
the talk.
talk.
Right.
Because you shall know the tree by the fruit.
By the fruit that is bear. Y'all, and the fruit is your behavior.
Right.
The fruit will show what you've learned. Either you learn the righteous way or you learn from the streets. And that's how we let people know. Boy, when I was back in the streets, dog, see, you couldn't have got that off of me. See, you're talking about the behavior you used to learn like that. But you still have a body of notes that you refer back to called street laws. They're different from righteous laws. They exact vengeance when vengeance is whose?
Lord.
So y'all understand? So that's how we know who you serve. We don't care what name you say around here. We need to see the works, and then we'll
right.
know what God you truly said. You just
right.
fat mouth.
That's right.
Let's get this lesson,
I
y'all.
grew,
What
up
else we
with,
got?
I grew up with somebody, they own the cleaners.
Uh-huh.
And his mother, I go in there to get my mother's stuff out of the cleaners.
Yeah.
And my friend mother say to me, you know, I seen you when you was doing this and this
Uh-oh.
and this. And I couldn't do nothing but sit there with my mouth open.
Right. Because she detailed it.
She detailed
Yeah,
it. I couldn't
you
lie.
like-
She said, yeah, don't even try to lie. Your eyes are saying.
Look, don't even try. Look, she cut that off too. Look, she cutting off all his avenues. Don't even try to lie. He's like, shit, I'm through at this point. That's all I had left.
If I ever catch you doing that again, I'm going to tell your mama.
Look. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. That's all I can say.
And look, you know
It's
what?
yes, ma'am.
Look, you know what yes, ma'am mean? You're absolutely
and then gonna hand
right.
my mama her dry cleaning.
Yeah. Look. You absolutely right. Let's get it, y'all. We got to get moving. So, y'all, today's lesson, biblical law lesson. Y'all, we're going to deal with the situation of kill because we move in and out of lands. So we have what's called state laws or the laws of those lands, but Fed law trump, or what we're talking about, the power and majesty of Yahweh trumps all of these nations. You know why? Because those nations have our book in their judging systems. Babylon had it. Egypt had it, because they always have one of our right-hand men there, and they know about our doctrine. They say it's a Hebrew that can explain God's law to you, and then they establish that law. But that law was established in every human being since Adam. Because is there white people with O positive blood? The so-called black people with O positive blood. So we got blood to go back, or B or A. We got blood to go back to one individual, Adam. But then nations are born out of that individual. And when we say nations are born, they're born for righteousness, or they're born through a wicked act. Like we had nations born with the offspring of Lot and his daughters that sired nations. They came in trouble. You have to wait 10 generations before they're allowed back into the fold. Even though Lot was a Hebrew. He was not a Hebrew Israelite, but he was a Hebrew because he was the nephew of Abraham. So we understand that. So y'all, we want to be extra careful that Moab and Ammon were a nation formed through an ancestral act. That don't mean the children have to suffer that for every like that, but the Most High say 10 generations is going to take to clean that back up and get them back where they're an acceptable people again. So, and then you had nations like Esau and Jacob. Would say, was Esau born to be wicked? We got to be careful with that. Because Romans 2 tell us, no, the children had done no evil or good that they could be judged by. It just said Jacob's heel will hold on Esau. There's nothing to say he would become a wicked nation. Nothing. It just said the elder should serve the younger. How it got wicked is because his mother Rebecca didn't believe the angel and jumped the gun on the blessing. She was told the elder gonna serve the younger. That's all she needed to know. So when you hear Isaac finna bless Esau and Jacob, why do you then go tell Jacob some opposite of what the angel told you? So y'all trick your husband and his daddy. So now the Most High pay you back double up. So that's why he got tricked by Laban so much. And Laban tricked him. You know, okay, you can have your wife and then, no, you can't, psych. You got to give me 7 more years. Okay, 7 years done. Can I have my wife? Psych. You got to give me 6 more years. So Jacob didn't get away with anything. Y'all understand what we saying? So don't let nobody tell you Esau was born wicked, because that's still Isaac's son, ain't it? I mean, Esau.
And there's other heathens other than Esau.
So y'all, we have to be careful that we keep this thing in perspective when we talk about being born and where wickedness come from. But the Most High ain't never made any group and say, I'm making them to do evil on y'all. No, Satan and his adversaries get at the creation of the Most High. Because everybody that got off that ark was given the order of Melchizedek.
That's right.
Ham was given it, Japheth was given it, and Shem was given it, because they're a human being. It's still inside of them. The law of God, because they're in the image of God too. It's just not Israel. We got to get that out of our mind. Mankind has the image of God, so it's without excuse that someone of another nation say, I didn't know I was doing wrong.
No
Abraham blessed Ishmael. What did he give him? He gave him the commandments, didn't he?
Yeah.
He gave Esau the commandments.
But Noah had to be a Melchizedek priest too.
Absolutely, Elisha. Yes, sir. He gave them that order when they got off the boat, because it was passed to Noah. You're the last one left on earth. You'll be the savior of this.
He got the same command that Adam got.
Same exact commandments. So y'all, let's get at the lesson, y'all. So we want to get right to it and understand this about our subject matter, biblical law lesson on how to break down or not be caught up with the word kill. Because y'all, these naysayers are running sacrifice at you. They're saying things like, how can Christ say he's a blood sacrifice, eat my body and drink my blood? That's cannibalism and, different things they saying. And then you drinking blood and, not taking it as symbolic.
Right.
Not taking it as it's a Melchizedek order, meaning only spiritually. That you're drinking his blood. It's symbolic of the old order of Aaron, where they had to slay a bullock and different things. It's just not being understood from a priesthood order. Once this priesthood is solved, because the Bible nowhere says the law has been changed or anything. It said because of a change of priesthood, there's a necessity, a change of the law. It didn't say the law went away. It said it had to change from sacrificing goats to accepting Christ as that sacrificial lamb. Well, if you believe Joseph is his real daddy, that sacrifice is null and void. It's null and void.
And then it's impossible to bear your cross.
It's impossible, Elijah.
It's impossible
And
to bear your cross or even have the sign of the cross.
Thank you.
Because the Most High said he's a spirit, and all those that worship him must worship him in spirit and truth.
That's what he said.
And in order for you to worship him in spirit and truth, you have to sacrifice the flesh.
Yeah.
Like Christ sacrificed his flesh upon the cross.
Yeah.
That's all Paul was writing about, is the separation of the spirit and the flesh. He said these two are contrary to the other.
And let me give you a perfect example, not to cut you off even more. A perfect example like we've been seeing, because Free Case Ray just doing cloud chasing and just made themselves the army of Kyrie. Kyrie said, I don't know who it is outside. But he's on this show with a sports host. And the sports host asked him some questions. He's answering, he's doing his one line, his curriculum, going through his regular Hebrew Christianity, going down his list, say this next. And y'all dealing with color still on a basic just getting into the knowledge level because they use a curriculum, just like church. That's why we call it Hebrew Christianity. He got his list of what he go by and things he'll say, and like he deal with who we are as a nation, and then he deal with color. And see, the prophet Job said, in 30 and 30, my skin is black upon me. And then we'll go, wait a minute. Yes, Job said that, but the problem is you think Job an Israelite and he's an Edomite. So that's your problem. First off, what is his skin doing black when it was white? Secondly, it says because of the famine that you didn't go to the next verse. So what makes us black because of famine? See, and when you cherry pick like that, then he go to the next, the gates, they're black unto the ground. Well, every time the Bible uses color, it compares it to something. It says they're black unto the ground, not like the color of the ground, because who seen black dirt? I seen black dirt when I used to pour the oil from changing oil from the car around the tree.
That wasn't black dirt.
Because look, oh yeah, we said but it appeared to be black. But it was from dirty oil. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It was from dirty oil. So, but when you use those basic and you don't understand, it's telling you of a mourning time. They're like black to the ground because you're in sackcloth and ashes. And because of the famine, I'm this color. When the Bible wants you to know an individual color, it will tell you his body part and what it's compared to. Like his loins, from his loins even upward, were the color of amber. So it's describing the physical part of an individual, but just say, I'm black. And then he went to Songs of Solomon and said, see, Solomon says, I am black but comely. Wait a minute. This ain't even Solomon talking. This the Shulamite woman. Because the next verses is, my people put me out in the field. When Solomon been out in the field? He's the son of a king.
And it says, look not
down upon me. What are you talking about? You still on that curriculum from 30 years ago from that rotten tree? And then the man asked him, led him right into this in the 1 minute and 25 second mark up to the 38 second mark. He said, y'all clothing, I'm just saying, is it Freemason affiliated? Because you seem to be dressed just like the Freemasons.
Who said this?
This was
I ain't see that one. I ain't see that. I ain't see that.
See, that's the one.
I guess I was tired of listening to it, so I didn't watch that one.
And then to watch the 3-chord Monty shift away from that, he said in the purple, because he told them why they were purple. Now see, lying, guile, because in their lessons they say in the book of Judges, purple was royalty. And this, it meant that. But when the guy asked him about purple, he said, because they put a purple robe on Christ and mocked him, so we mocked the world by wearing purple. No. So if you're mocking them, then how do you tell a Christian they can't wear a cross if they say we mocking the world with a cross, so we wear a cross? Or I wear this crown of thorns to mock y'all and show y'all what y'all doing. Ain't nobody wearing a crown of thorns, is there? So now you put this back on like now it's idol worship because we dress like this to mock the world. No, you ain't. That's y'all color scheme.
Revelation says the great whore is decked out in
scarlet and purple. Y'all understand? Yes, sir. And not only that, but the Freemason question, I'm gonna get you all, never came back up. The Freemason question never came up that where he then went into, and if I can, I want to take you to some numbers 15, and you know, see, we were ordered to put fringes on. Wait a minute. Y'all got fringes on them purple outfits? I'm talking about on them uniforms with them Freemasonry scapes. And all that, if you say the Indians are your brothers, what the hell is they doing with fringes on the elbows and you just read on the border of their garment? Right here where it's supposed to be. They got fringes up here. They got fringes running down their pants leg, don't they?
All up here.
They got them on their head, dress across here. So them are the people you're saying belongs to this, and they ain't got their fringes according to the instruction. Not only that, but fringes came out of disobedience. So what you're doing is opening the door for you to get pounded out with that curriculum of Hebrew Christianity. Never mentioned the priesthood ever.
Fringes don't
quoting
stop you from
laws
doing nothing wrong.
that has nothing to do with the order of
They got fringes
Melchizedek.
all over their body. That mean they going hella off.
But this is what I'm saying, Lisa. He went, and y'all get the full understanding. Jake gonna break it down tonight. He'll let y'all see. He'll break it down tonight,
I put the link in the chat.
so y'all get a good, clear understanding of it. But y'all, this is what we're talking about when you have these to people. And then he laughing like he really let and drinking the water. No, you ain't gonna do that laugh of approval with those who know what you doing. You ain't gonna laugh us into what you're doing. You're cherry picking, bro, and they're calling you a bishop. A bishop level must be up here. You still coloring outside the lines. That's the problem.
He ain't even a novice.
Boy, look here. Ain't even a novice yet. And this is who y'all calling y'all live just cause you dress up in purple. The script say look for white robes, didn't it?
Yes, sir.
Scripts also say the only time to march is when it's time to go to war.
Go to war.
They
And
don't
y'all
look
ain't got
like they
no
ready for
pistols.
war.
Ain't nobody got no swords.
Ain't
Ain't
ready
nobody
for war.
rattling on doors or standing and blocking traffic to get to the arena. Y'all just marching peacefully
Yeah, they peaceful.
with the permit
And they-
that you
and they-
just
and-
got.
And
Look,
they paid the enemy to do so.
Yeah,
they
and
got
you paid for a
permits.
permit.
Had to.
Had to pay for a permit to do
they
all
got a
that.
police escort. You see people in the vests, they got called in for overtime. You want some overtime? Oh yeah. Yeah, I think it's a fraternity or somebody out here. Somebody, they from the IU in something, man. It's a church group, man. They paying double time. Yeah, I'm coming. Sign me up.
And then the colors got you. The colors got them thinking you a Q dog.
Boy, look, that's what they thought. So this is what he asked me, and guess what else he asked me? He said, so you also was a police officer, and that's a fraternal order, so how do you deal with that?
Boy,
Man,
they
are
just
you
must.
talking about backpedaling? You talking about scratching to find your way out of this, y'all. It was ridiculous. But this is what they want all the world to see when you say you are Israelite.
So they'll think
This
you're
is
foolish.
who's teaching y'all.
So it looks foolish.
501 all of that. This is who. That's why he didn't answer that Masonic. If he'd have put up a Masonic picture and put up them marching right there, that means like say, so tell us the difference in the two. They don't see we had studs on our clothes. What are you talking about? The Messiah said, take no thought for what you should wear. What are you talking about? We had studs. Where you seen anybody dressed like what you're talking about? You got an old Israelite picture with David on it that he's dressed like this?
They should have been in sackcloth and ashes marching around.
See, this is why
And
the
still
Messiah
should have been
said,
doing it because they ain't ready for war.
and look, this is what we're talking about, bro. He said, except your righteousness exceed the righteousness of the Pharisee. He's a Pharisee. That's what we have to understand. And unless you go past that basic teaching, you have no part in the kingdom because you don't have it up here. You're a robot. You're following directions of someone else. Put your shirt on. Okay, stand like this in formation.
Right.
Huh, 2, 3, 4. Huh, 2, 3, 4.
That's that give us a king
Boy,
spirit.
look here. That's what it
That's
is.
that give us a king spirit. I'll follow you.
They,
You say left, right, left?
Go ahead. Exodus 20, y'all. We're going to 13. Go ahead, Theo, and then we're going to Ecclesiastes 3:3. Ecclesiastes. Go ahead.
Fraternities and wardens and masons, wouldn't it be against the law to pledge your oath to?
You're not supposed to
mentioned-
pledge to nobody.
Look, he said the 32nds and the 33rds are witchcraft. What about 30 and down? See, what he doing, he play on word because the 30th, 32nds have to, and 33rds have to
They play-
acknowledge that
they acknowledge
Lucifer
that, yeah.
is God.
Yeah.
See, so are you telling us 29 down are not part of Luciferian doctrine, but they could be a part of the order? See, you have to listen to what's being said, and he wasn't expecting that question because he took it way left field. Come back to what he asked you. You look just like them Freemason clothes. Let us hear the doctrine of Freemason. Show them, and then they do this, boom, 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 and then they say you get your throat cut up. Boom, this what we do with them same clothes on, boom, boom, boom. And the reason I'm saying that is because if we have on a pair of Nikes, and somebody come up to us and say, ain't Nikes the sports god? Ain't Adidas
What's the Adidas?
or Adidas? Ain't them
that
the
what they
sports
got?
guys? No, my grandson gave me these. I think they some LeBrons or something.
Okay.
No, but
LeBron?
Nike make
That's
them.
not- that's
Nike
Nike
make
then.
them. So what we're saying is, so you don't get caught up in that. Well, ain't you got them on? Is what comes behind that. What's my walk in these shoes? It's my walk of the sports guy. Am I into sports activity butt naked? Because that's what they did. Wrestle naked, play football butt naked.
That was more than one ball then, wasn't it?
So, but look at it. So y'all, so that we don't get caught up with that, what we wanted to hear was the difference in those Mason outfits. What sets yours apart from this one because they look just alike? You understand what I'm saying? What's the body of notes when you have on that uniform?
See.
What you got, Emo? Go get rolling. Go ahead.
You answered the question.
Okay. Shalom, Maglio. Let's get it, y'all. Exodus 20:13, Ecclesiastes 3:3, and then we're going to get into this number 35, y'all. We're going to speed it up just a bit because we want to get a good law lesson in today so you know how to determine what priesthood, y'all, but this is priesthood. Y'all just do this. Y'all just try it. Whoever you get in a discussion with, just ask them, what priesthood are you bringing this from? Start it off like that because it will change the gospel of Messiah. Messiah said, I can make rocks, Israelites out of rocks if I so chose to.
That's right.
I don't care nothing about y'all being Israelites. There's no respect of persons. The respect that y'all have is from the nations because y'all the light bearer. That's all y'all are. It gives you an advantage, so to speak, that you've been entrusted with his word to share it with another nation. You're in charge of that word to Shiloh come. Y'all, if we don't understand that and we keep getting caught and tossed to and fro, we have the zeal of who are, but without knowledge. Y'all, this way greater than we just Israelites. Just ask them also, priesthood and what's the gospel of Messiah? Because he gave us instructions, didn't he?
That's right.
He said, this what you must do. And I ain't seen nothing in there to say, once you tell them they're Israelite, that's it. And then you can do whatever you want to do, and the gospel of Christ is missed. And then you force to chase a religion because they keep saying, the black Israelites. You don't ever hear them addressing, the white Russians, the white Israelis, the white Italians, the yellow-skinned Chinese, the yellowish-skinned North Koreans. Do y'all ever hear that? So y'all, that's what they got us up, tangled in the color, and we still coloring outside the line. Man, how old are you?
This many?
Yeah, that's what it is, y'all. Let's get it, y'all. Exodus 20:13.
This many?
And he's 38.
Right.
Yeah.
And put up four
fingers, yeah.
That's just bad shit.
Boy, you talking about bro man mode.
Ooh, boy. All right, family, we're going to be reading in the book of Exodus, chapter 20, reading verse 13.
Yo, these just one-liners. These are the Big Ten, but they need to be understood because it's just not as simple as reading, thou shalt not kill. You have to find out why he's commanding that. Let's get some more.
Thou shalt not kill. Period.
Yeah, that's it. Go ahead. Ecclesiastes 3:3. Yes, sir.
I was going to say, if you read more than that, you need to back
See,
that up.
if we don't get into it, then you'll have the outsiders come in and interpret it for you, like Farrakhan says. That shouldn't be killed. The word was mistranslated. It should be murder. No, it's put in there exactly like it's supposed to be translated. Mr. Add on to the word with your Quran. You adding on to this. The Bible will tell you what it means, not Farrakhan.
That's right.
Murder is not the only way to kill. It says if a hunter, in the book of Leviticus, if a hunter go out and he shoots his bow and arrow and kill the beast, that's a form of killing, ain't it?
Yeah.
Go ahead, sis.
You can kill. Life and death is in the power of your tongue.
Look, sis, you know what we're saying. Life and death is in the power of your tongue. You got to be careful when you lash out with violence. Hell, would you go to hell? That means die, because the lake of fire, hell will be thrown into the lake of fire. So you ain't telling them to go to the lake of fire, you just telling them to die. Words get powerful. And somebody, he had a heart attack last night. You be like, what?
I
And
told
now
him
your
to go
mind,
to
I
hell.
told
Oh
him to
my
go to hell.
God.
Shit, I hope I
He
didn't do
dead
that.
because of me.
Now you got survivor's remorse. You have to be
Watch
careful
what you say.
because words are powerful. You could pronounce the Abrahamic curse on the nation. Bless those that bless you and curse those that curse you. You can actually pronounce a curse on a group of people, but you better be ready to stand behind it. And you better not be just hurling curses at nobody because you had the power. And become Hebrew Mr.
Remember
Rudolph.
Billy, little Indian Billy?
Yes, sir.
He,
Yes, sir.
wished that death upon that cop or something. That cop had a heart attack
Boy,
or
look
something.
here.
Later that evening.
Can't be because he pulled you over for bad stickers.
But
you
then
wish
he
his death.
wasn't completely into the word of Christ, and he switched messiahs and started worshiping Ben-Ami.
Yes, sir. Yeah. What you got, sis?
Then the Jews, when they set Christ up to be killed, then they would, I think, one of the kings was asking them something, why were they doing it? They said, let his blood be on our hands.
And on our descendants. Absolutely. See,
Generation after generation is why these Jews have been even killed by Adolf Hitler.
well, that's a whole different group.
Yeah.
That was our people.
Right,
Those
but
were the
I'm just
Pharisees.
saying.
I'm talking about those were our. That's why we suffer
Example,
like
yeah.
we do. Those were our children. Because look, Edomites were running. King Herod was an Edomite.
Yeah.
Right.
He just had charge over Jerusalem. The Pharisees were like Al Sharpton and them. You know how they'll go holler at the president and get a few crumbs here and there, and then come back and tell us what we ought to be doing. Let's do some more marching. This is what Pharaoh say. That's what the Pharisees was like. So when Christ come to take over both them and Herod's position, they got angry. Money was gonna be lost.
It was the Black Clergy
They like
Coalition.
that's who it was.
Black
Mess up
Clergy
our money.
Coalition.
That's who curse be our children on us. Put that on us. You got to be careful. And look, we still do it to this day. Man, I put that on my mama. How you gonna put your bad behavior on your mama? Your mama don't deserve this.
He's saying on God.
On
That's
God.
what I
Now
was
you
about
gonna
to
put,
say.
and this is because they don't know the law.
They don't even believe
You gonna
Yeah,
put
right.
you gonna put bad behavior on God, like one of them wild One West guys used to be hollering on the corner, foaming at the mouth. He talking about, I told my auntie I can't wait for the Lord to come back and murder y'all. Wait a minute. You're hoping the Lord come back and shed innocent blood. You're counting him as a murderer. Christ say, I slay the wicked.
Right.
I put him to death. He didn't say I murder the wicked. Y'all, we got to be careful, y'all. Let's get into
Righteous
this.
killing.
Ecclesiastes 3:3. Read 1 through 3.
All right, family, we're going to be in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3. We'll start the reading in verse 1.
Yeah.
Everybody there? Get some understanding. family.
Yes, sir.
To everything there is a season.
To everything, what?
There is a season.
And y'all, we'll see that all the time, y'all. A season is usually 4 months. Right, 3 months, right?
Yeah.
4 seasons in a year, 3 months. It tells you, look, prepare for a season. Y'all, if you can, if it's possible, we should be stored up at least for 3 months. Y'all, but that's hard, y'all. It's kind of hard to be stored up for 3 days in this walk. But you should at least, because when the season change, opportunities change. Things change when the season change. So he just saying, if you just have enough stored up for 3 months, if you can just get by for 3 months, I got you the next season.
But that don't mean you just gonna sit at home
No, it don't, bro.
waiting on something to happen.
No, it don't mean that.
I'm waiting on the Lord.
I'm waiting on, no, he didn't say that.
Well, I guess you ain't gonna need that watch.
Right. Go ahead, bro.
To everything there is a season,
Uh-huh.
and a time to every purpose under the sun.
Right.
A time to be born,
Uh-huh.
and a time to die.
So look, so we know a time to be born usually come 9 to 10 months, you know, because you think about it, when a child is born, he's already 9 to 10 months old.
That's 3 seasons.
You know, exactly. So you know what we saying? The child is almost 1 year old almost when he's born. What else to say, bro?
A
Hello,
time,
Aquay.
a time to plant,
A time to do what?
a time to plant,
Uh-huh.
and a time to pluck up that which is planted.
So we know when the harvest season comes, you know what you need to do so you can pluck up at harvest time. Go ahead.
A time to kill.
A time to do what?
A time to kill.
Now this is contradictory with what we just read in Exodus, ain't it?
Thou shalt not.
Thou shalt not kill, but it's saying the Bible says there's a time to kill. Go ahead.
And a time to heal.
And a time to do what?
To heal.
Uh-huh.
A time to break down.
Uh-huh.
And a time to build up.
So we can hold there, y'all, and we're going to get to this point to clear what some may try to cherry pick the Bible and say right there, see, your God is letting them get away with things. So if we give me the wisdom of Solomon real quick, y'all. Give me chapter 1 and 13, and then give me chapter 2 and 23 and 24. And y'all, we just going to get a little bit of understanding so we put things in their perspective, because people will be saying the Lord created killing. What you got? John? What you got there, boy? You got a whole briefcase right there.
Got my drink in there.
Oh, okay. Got your drink. Not secret libations for everybody.
That's enough for everybody.
You right. Boy, don't do that.
No, I know you, bro. I know you.
Don't call
Me out on camera.
Go ahead.
We go up right there.
We're going to the Wisdom of Solomon and the Apocrypha.
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1, verse
13, you said.
start at 7. Here we go 7, sis. We'll go down to the end. 7 to the end. The Wisdom of Solomon.
Chapter 1.
Yeah.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 7.
We'll let y'all get there, y'all, because we have to get a clear understanding, y'all. The Lord is righteous. There's no unrighteousness in him. If he makes death, then that means he's setting people up. Y'all, the Lord is too great for that, because he could have made us all robots and obey to the letter. We would never break ranks if he wanted to do that, but he's not that type. He's like, you're an individual. You your own man and woman.
Choose your path.
Choose your path. You can't do that with ordered steps. If he makes somebody wicked, then why should they repent?
Right.
And why would it be a judgment day for them and you made them that way where they couldn't repent? No matter how good I am, I can't do right because you made me wicked. Ain't no such thing ever in the Bible. Breaking the commandments creates evil, not the Lord. Go ahead.
Right, but I think like a lot of people have certain
Go ahead.
certain psychologies in them, like Israel.
Right.
You just disobey, and it's like passed down through the generations, and you just that's something you have to overcome. I think most times gave us wills, that's what's overrated. But
He gave us to choose.
To choose, but you have to overcome that. Because some people was born in a wicked household, a wicked nation, and they chose to be righteous. So you have to
Absolutely. Leviticus, no, Ezekiel 18
Ezekiel
chapter.
18.
Absolutely.
Look at Manasseh, the son of Hezekiah.
Yeah.
How wicked he was.
You know, because go ahead,
completely
Elijah.
off. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
And look, y'all, when we understand certain things, even when people try to use Jeremiah was created to do good, because he said he formed you in the belly. That's the soul. He forms the soul of every individual in the belly. Every soul has the righteousness of God. Every soul on earth is created in perfect harmony. Now, your flesh may come out crooked like this or something like that, and there's a deformity. But those deformities usually come because something happened during that 9-month period. That gestation period. Something happened within that to cause a deformity in the flesh. But every soul is perfect. Because every knee has to bow. It's perfect.
Everything he's created is good.
Everything is good.
And nothing to be refused.
What we were born with is corruptible flesh. That don't mean you're born in sin. You can't be born in sin, because you would have to come in a transgression. Kicking hard coming out of the womb. Biting on the umbilical cord coming out.
Let me out of here.
Yeah, let me hear that. Now, is that how you saying born in sin? No, David said, I was shapen in iniquity. My flesh was formed on me. It was already dying. It was already mud. It's already, no matter what's going to happen, it's going to rust. Y'all understand what we're saying?
And then also he was saying his corruptness came from a learned behavior.
Yes, sir.
shaping.
It's like being born here in Babylon. Everything is geared towards sin.
Yeah.
So you have to overcome it. You have to teach your children, nah, that ain't right. This is what the scriptures say. But all you go to school, they teaching them that men can be women and women can
But
be
look, it ain't like they don't know, because all of these artists come out and say, we went to the parties, we just can't name who was there. And their soul is saying it wasn't good what we were seeing.
Right.
Now, I did like the part with them two women and swinging off of that thing. I did. See, but this may be bad to you. But your wickedness may be feeling good to you, but your soul still telling you what's going on in this mansion is a lot of bad behavior. So their soul tell them. That's why they say, I sold my soul to the devil. It ain't like they don't know. It's a spirit within us. If we didn't have no contracts or nothing, to tell you, don't you do that.
Right.
Don't you do that. And what we always say, I should have listened to my what?
First mind.
And you didn't have no scripture with that. You didn't have a book of the Holy Bible and then a book of shadows right here, and you read from this, and then you read from the book of shadows. You're like, I should have just read. No, it's within you because you're in the image of the Most High. Your soul is, not your flesh. Go ahead, Emo.
That's why it's your first mind, because it's in the beginning.
Yeah,
It's a natural order.
it's a natural order. Go ahead, Emo.
So is it that their heart or their mind is seared? So that, or is
The
it-
conscience is sealed with a hot iron.
Right.
See, when you deny what's telling you, that means kicking against the prick, like Saul, like Paul was doing. So when he was Saul, he was kicking against the order. He had the law, but like we were saying, he was trying to pump state law when Fed law was here. And I'm talking about Aaron versus Melchizedek. I'm just using state and Fed so you understand the difference. Melchizedek law went through the whole world and to every individual. That's like Fed law. They can go anywhere. State law only deals with the specifics right here, like where we was in the wilderness, getting that training to go to deal in the land where Fed law gonna have to be exacted among the other nations. Because, you know, we can't force them to wear our clothing. That's for our community. But when we go out there, we can force them to keep the commandments. We can't, but we have to enforce the commandments because it's Fed law. It's Melchizedek. It's from the beginning. You should have it up here, not wearing it on here.
Right.
The state law was introduced to get us back to the understanding of Fed law.
Yeah.
So that we'll start back practicing Fed law.
That wasn't the regular police, the Alabama chief of police following the boy went over there to Mecca, got killed over there. Malcolm X.
Oh, man.
That was feds following him.
Yeah.
Look how they get authority to move through them countries like that.
Right.
Feds go beyond borders.
Beyond
travel
borders.
Beyond borders.
So did Melchizedek.
So the U.S. Marshals supersedes the Fed, or they?
No,
It's
feds
Fed.
supersede
It's
them.
still Fed.
Because see, feds can come in and say, hey, we're taking over this case.
Right now, from
Y'all
anybody,
stand down.
y'all stand down.
We taking over. And they have to stand down. I don't care who's in charge. When
And-
the feds come in and say, we taking, like the FBI and everything,
Yeah.
come in, they say, we taking over this whole investigation. Everybody's state got to stand down. I don't care who's the head honcho.
They may be the
They
offshoot, but what we're
superseded
talking
all.
about just a branch.
Because they travel the globe.
Yeah.
They're a global
But you can't
organization.
send the marshals
They
to
can
another
call,
nation.
Marshals ain't
they
leaving
can
the
call
States.
Iraq and say, look, we looking for this suspect
Yeah.
over in Europe, and they'll correspond with their authority, with the FBI that's placed in that
Yeah.
land, and they'll go over there
And handle
expedite
business.
them back to where they need to be expedited to.
Don't mess around, y'all. So not comparing it to that, just letting you know the difference in Aaron and Melchizedek. Because Moses told you in Deuteronomy 18, Fed coming. And we're not reducing our Messiah to that. We're just trying to keep you in the mindset of like a parable or the sower or different things like
Right.
that. He said, Fed coming. When he say, whatever Fed say, it's going to be law. Then his little cousin, John the Baptist, say the same thing. I shall do what? Decrease. And what he going to do?
Increase.
Y'all, that's what we're talking about. If you're not on the increase, you're on the decrease. And if you listening to colors, wearing different colors and tomfoolery doctrine and a curriculum that you reading a letter through and going to the next letter, just like the Jehovah's Witness will come, and they reading off a curriculum, soon as you throw them off base, they be looking, And right here at the bottom curriculum, if you can't answer anymore, start cursing wildly and leave. They'll tell you to leave. If not, tell them you'll have to contact your elders and you'll get back with them, even though you never will.
I'm a witness to that.
Yeah.
I had a Jehovah's Witness at my house thumbing through scriptures for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, you ain't find what you was looking for yet?
Well, look here. That's like a door-to-door
He ain't never been back
salesman.
either.
Look, that's like a door-to-door salesman don't know what you selling. You just got a bag. I'm here to sell some product. Well, what you got, sir? Let me see in here. A house shoe and you just done been in somebody's house and well, that's crackhead doctrine. Go ahead, let's get some more. Where we at? Wisdom of Solomon.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 7.
Yeah.
For the Spirit of the Most High filleth the world, and that which containeth all things has knowledge of the voice.
So what does the Spirit of the Lord, how much does it fill up half the world or just Jerusalem?
The world.
The whole world. Go ahead.
Therefore, he that speaketh unrighteous things cannot be hid.
Because it fills the whole world. There's no way to escape it and go over here and say, I didn't know about your law. That's why we say there's no location salvation. If you are rotten MF, you're going to be a rotten MF in Jerusalem if you don't change your mind. Go ahead. What else to say?
Neither shall vengeance, when it punisheth, pass by him. For inquisition shall be made unto the counsel of the ungodly.
Right.
And the sound of his word shall come unto the Most High for the manifestation of his wicked deeds.
See, you see the sound of his words? This came from you while you being judged. Nobody else. This comes from you. Go ahead. What else to say?
For the fear of jealousy heareth, for the ear of jealousy heareth all things, and the noise of murmuring is not hid. Therefore, beware of murmuring.
Beware of what?
Beware of murmuring.
When you hear somebody murmuring, just, they're in a disagreement, but they won't bring it forth. Y'all, every problem has to have a solution. Murmuring doesn't have a solution. It just dives deep and get in the quicksand of the problem, and all it do is just keep it going. Just keep it going. So all you're doing is spinning your tires in the mud.
It's just complaining with no solution.
With no solution. Y'all, that's a problem when you complain with no solution. You should even have a out process of what's gonna make it better. Like I talked to about earlier, I was saying, look, when somebody call you and tell you, man, I see you still been down with the word, you've been keeping it, you've been standing 10 toes down, like I said, and man, I know I ain't been doing that. I've been buddying, man, and I've been over here messing and talking to these people I shouldn't have been over there. Man, I'm gonna try to get y'all still over there, man, I'm gonna get back down there. There's nothing else to say to that individual because he's told you what his problem was. I'm a buddy champion. I'm a blunt monkey. Where wine flowing, I'm going to be there. He say, but I got to get back and get my head right to get off of those things. What do you tell him at that point? He's already told you what his problem is, and he told you what the fix was. I got to get back and get my mind right. What do you tell him but just say all praises, bro? You fix your broken problem. I don't have to add to it. You already told me what the fix is. I got to cut that blunt monkey in out. Go ahead. What we got to say? Hold on. Let me get him first. Just go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, how you come up with this?
What monkey?
Well, you see, you don't know nothing about that. See, that's in a whole nother area.
Stay in your lane, chicken.
Right. If I'd have said, you'd have knew if I'd have said a two-piece, you'd have kind of like, I'm with you on that, bro. I feel you on that. With fries? Yeah, I feel you on that. But see, we talking outside of your realm. You got something, bro? Go ahead, sis. What you got? Oh, go ahead, Thomas. I'm sorry. You was very good.
We gotta watch what we say. Like, if it's a tender topic, watch what's gonna come out your mouth.
Absolutely.
Put it out there.
Yeah.
And it might be something you're gonna have to pay for.
You'll have to pay for
we
what you
were
got
just saying that right before you came in here.
You have to,
Wanna go?
you have to guard over your lips and watch over your tongue. And like my personal experience where they generally go on and on about a little piece of toilet paper, when they rattle on and on, when they get through, case closed.
Yeah. Yeah, it have to, y'all, because you have to You have to look, when an individual tell you what's wrong with them and they tell you the fix, there's nothing more for you to say but, okay, that sounds like you're getting back to the right path. They done already told you, this is my transgression, and this is what I know I need to do to fix it. What do you add in? You can't start pounding in on them on scriptures or nothing. They've already told you what they looking. Well, bro, you know what we at? You know how we get down. It's still the same. If you need to redirect and get things back, reboot your soul, then come on back and reboot.
But you done start clowning with
But
him.
right.
Now he like, that's why I don't go down there.
But you got the blunt monkey virus, it's gonna be rough on you. Go ahead, y'all. Let's move on, y'all. Go ahead. Where we at? Read some more of that.
Verse 10 again.
Yeah.
For the ear of jealousy heareth all things, and the noise of murmurings is not hid. Therefore beware of murmurings, which is unprofitable.
What is it?
Unprofitable. And refrain your tongue from backbiting.
See, and that's what James talked about. He said the tongue is the most worst part on the body. It's the smallest member, but it cannot be tamed. You can tame a horse. You can teach a dolphin to do tricks for you. You can teach a bear to ride a bike. But you cannot tame a tongue. You cannot get control of it when it's out. You can't put a bridle on it. Because the individual have to bridle his tongue. What else to say, bro?
For there is no word so secret that shall go for naught. And the mouth that belieth slayeth the soul. Seek not death in the era of your life.
Do what?
Seek not death in the era of your life.
See, you got to be careful when you think it's cool talk to say GD me.
Right.
Man, I told him, man, GD me, man, you know, man. Wait a minute.
Damn,
damn you?
Right.
And you think this cool talk?
You're already under a curse.
You're already under curse. Now you're saying, go ahead and really put some heat on me. Yeah. Go ahead. And you walking, cause you pigeon-toed, you got on some new gaiters and you stepping fryly, you know, and that makes you talk filthy conversation.
You're going to step on your own
feet. Ain't you, boy? Go ahead.
Seek not death in the era of your life. And pull not upon yourselves destruction with the works of your hands. For Yahweh made not death.
What did Yahweh make not?
Made not death.
So that means he made life. So if death came, if death wasn't part of the original creation when it said in the morning and the evening were the sixth day and it was what?
Good.
Death was not included in there. Because death is not a good thing. He didn't create death. Death is a result of breaking the commandments. Just like evil is a result of breaking the commandments. He didn't create evil. Evil was created when his creation breaks his commandment. Yes, that's his creation. But he tell you in Ezekiel 28:12, when I created Lucifer, he was right. He was perfect. He was a high priest after the order of Melchizedek in the heavens. He had on the breastplate until what was found in him? Iniquity was found in him. Pride. And lifted him up. But I didn't create him to be the devil. He became the devil. And that caused evil. Yes, it's my creation, so I'll take it for that. But I punish my creation. I'll straighten my creation out so you won't follow my rogue creation. I'll tighten him up.
That's right.
Let's get some more. Where we at?
Verse 13 again.
And you, well, say it again, Life.
And you too?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
For Yahweh made not death. Neither hath he pleasure in the destruction of the living. For he created all things, that they might have their being. And the generations of the world were helpful. And there is no poison of destruction in them, nor the kingdom of death upon the earth. For righteousness is immortal.
What is righteousness?
Immortal.
That means it's without corruption. Go ahead.
But ungodly men in their works and words called it to them. For when they thought to have it their friend, they consumed to naught.
See, they consumed to naught like GD me, man. That's when you thought to have it their friend. You think that's cool talk? Go ahead. What else to say?
And made a covenant with it because they were worthy to take part.
Boy, look here. You'll take part with it. Now hit right there while you're in there, chapter 2. Just hit 23 and 24. Y'all can read all of that because it starts off verse 1 with the ungodly, but we just going to get down to 22 and 23.
Verse 23, chapter 2.
And this will match up with 1 Corinthians 15:51, 45 through 51. Go ahead.
For Yahweh created man to be immortal.
What did he create him to be?
To be immortal.
See, so y'all, that eliminates anything about anybody saying somebody was created to be wicked. Any of that, because he created man to be immortal because they were in his image. Immortality. Righteousness is immortality. So that's how you were created, in righteousness. Go ahead.
And made him to be an image of his own eternity.
What did he make him to be?
To be an image of his own eternity.
Of his own eternity. That means never dying. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world.
So who did death come from? And how did it enter into the world? Who is it? The cause of it?
Envy of
the devil. Go ahead.
Came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find.
And you will find if you hold on side of the devil, because the devil tell you you're going to die. The devil tell you, if you play with me, you're going to die at the hands of God. But look, that could be way off.
While we doing it.
That could be way off time. Look, do you know how long ago I tricked Adam and Eve? You know how long that's been? God ain't worried about you. Go on, get into that devil's mess. Here, taste it. Don't it take wickedly sweet? Taste it again. Yeah, it sure is sweet. So y'all, we wanted to clear that up, that the Most High don't make mistakes. His majesty, when you read in Sirach chapter 2, it'll tell you his majesty and his mercy, they're equal. He judged from that position. He's always going to have his mercy there and see if you deserve it. Because ain't nothing we can do to deserve it. Because everybody here should be dead already. Ain't no children in here, is it? If you think back, like I say, y'all, when we get to studying of what sin is, and you realize in the lesson we're going to go over number 35 days, because it's going to say, even the things that you find out that you know you did, and you like, damn, I did that too? Yeah. Boy, I ought to be dead. Shit, I'm talking about blood, and it ought to be embalming fluid in me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What else we got, y'all? We good with that?
Yeah.
Let's get back to the lesson at hand, y'all, so we can get caught up. 3:30 hour. Let's get right to it. Numbers 35, y'all. And we're going to get a lesson of killing. And the Bible explains there's many forms of killing. And it explains that sometimes you can kill an individual, but it could be a mob behind it. Like if a gang member come up on you and threatening to kill or harm you and your children, and you kill that gang member, it may be some retaliation coming back, even though he brought that street justice to you and you put him down lawfully, and the police, you didn't get in the back of his car, you went in your car and went home. It may be retaliation. Right. So sometimes they would have to say, okay, we got to have a place of refuge for you, because they got a lot of evil backing them. Right. And they may come, or especially if they didn't kill somebody so you don't show up at court. They threaten you, but we're going to have to hit those too. There's a difference in a snitch and what the Bible say, blood on your hands if you see a crime and you call to testify and you don't go. Guess whose blood on that's on your hands. See, so we got to be a fine line, y'all. We don't get caught up in what snitching is. Snitching is all of us going rob the bank. I get caught and I tell on everybody else. That's snitching. That's snitching. That's a snitch. We said we was thick as thieves, but look like we thin as one ply toilet paper. I'm talking about finger breakthrough toilet paper. Look, y'all, I was talking about digging in y'all nose. Y'all thought something else. Go ahead, 35, y'all.
We're going to start at 6.
Numbers 35. We're going to start at verse 1.
Oh, okay, we're starting 1.
Yes, sir. We're going to read that whole chapter. And y'all, and then we're going to go to Deuteronomy 4. It's going to give clarification of location, because everything is always with two witnesses. One witness will tell you the issue. The other witness will break it down in its statutes and judgments, how it's performed, so you don't have to go outside the Bible. All of the Bible is in here, because our thoughts are not his thoughts, right?
That's right.
Look, he say, I don't need y'all helping me decide on what I did. Just like he told Job. You've been listening to your friends. You sitting here trying to figure out why this punishment coming on you. But one thing about you, Job, you said, naked I come and naked I'll leave. So you understand me. It's just these friends giving you this bad advice that you must have done something wrong. So I'm going to take care of your friends. So I'm going to ask you right now, you either pray for them with that bad advice or I'm getting them. You know, and they say, but I'm going to get you too, because how easy was you to let a friend or have you doubt almost this? So we're going to start off in Job 38. Where was you when I formed the world?
Right.
So let's start with you first. I'm going to get your mind correct, and then we'll deal with your friend. Where was you when I laid the foundations of the earth? I wasn't even thought of yet. Right. Wasn't even an inch in my father. And then he goes on to correct him to get his power back, and God lets him know that, boy, I ain't got no time to be playing with you and playing with the devil. I done already told the devil, you my servant. Don't listen to these offshoots trying to change your thought process that you did something wrong. Your flesh is tormented because you should already be dead. Your soul keeping you alive. Let's get some more. Because the soul is righteousness. It's immortal. Job was ready to part with that dying flesh, but they was confusing him that he had done something wrong. What you got back there, Thomas?
You see more and more when you get on the social media now, you hearing people speak out of the word, out of the book, right, out of the law.
Yeah.
And they going right word for word, right where we be at. And I say, see, this is the great awakening that we're witnessing, because
that's what we need.
Man.
It's a great awakening. However, you still gotta watch for the walk.
Right. Yeah. Be it and observe.
Because a lot of people get into it because it's the new thing.
Yeah.
It's the new hot thing right now.
Right.
Remember, just a couple of years ago, Kendrick Lamar and all them was screaming about it in their song.
Yeah.
Where are they now?
Yeah.
What are they screaming now?
Yeah.
They ain't doing it
So
no more.
we have to watch for, just because everybody's screaming Israel, 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 ooh, we the children of the book, don't mean nothing. Watch the walk.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like, okay, this may be the great end thing, the new end thing now. We just saw it in our household.
Yeah.
How many flocked to this house, how many left?
Yeah.
Because it was the new thing.
It's the new thing?
It was hot. It's the hot thing. It's the fad now. You see what I'm saying? But see, Satan will also take this opportunity to use that against Israel. If you're not sound in the word, if you're not sound in the faith. You see what I'm saying? So, like Paul was saying, the knowledge of the spirit, and we must increase in the spirit and decrease in the flesh.
Right.
So, Elisha, go ahead, read verse 1, and then just skip down to verse 9, Elisha. Y'all, and what this is it start off verse 1 is the dividing of the cities for the Levites. But also, when it get to the dividing of the cities, there had to be safe cities for us, or like what we call witness protection cities.
Right. Cities of refuge.
Cities of refuge to protect you in case you're going through a trial, and they have to keep the mob from killing you. They have to move you to safety zones.
Just like your family, if you, by chance, like he was saying, you might, you kill a gangbang. You know, it may be some retaliation. Your family relocate you to their cousin or aunt in a whole nother state.
Yeah.
Get you out of here until it all dies down.
Right.
It's the same way when Most High told Christ and Mary and Joseph to go down in Egypt.
Absolutely, bro.
It's a hit out on you.
Yeah.
And what happened was, since Herod couldn't catch Christ and everything, he killed Zechariah, John the Baptist's father.
Yeah, he did.
Because they couldn't find John the Baptist either.
They just killed that 17-year-old on his bus stop here in St. Louis. He was a witness, supposed to have been testifying against some drive-by shooters.
Yeah, and the mother was so mad that they didn't protect the child.
Yeah.
She told them, look, they've been sending threatening letters. They've been driving by the house, and he'll be all right. He'll be all right. But see, that's the point that where they don't care about us enough. They just like, it's just thin in the herd.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because they don't give us the benefit of the doubt.
No.
You know, that this could be a good kid. You know, they got tangled up. But let's get it, y'all, while we want to get through this lesson
Numbers
today.
chapter 35, verse 1. The Most High spake unto Moses in the plains of Moab, and by Jordan, near Jericho, saying, Command the children of Israel that they give unto the Levites of the inheritance of their possessions cities to dwell in.
Uh-huh.
And ye shall give also unto the Levites suburbs for the cities round about them.
So you can hold that and jump down to verse 9. Y'all read everything in between, but we're just talking about why the Father allowed the Levites and the children of Israel were commanded. You know, put them in these places because that's your refuge. You're going to need
Start at
them.
6, Dan.
You want to start at 6? Okay,
Dan
because
said.
you might as well keep reading then.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay,
2,
3.
3.
And the city shall have to them to dwell in.
Uh-huh.
They shall have to dwell in.
Uh-huh.
And the suburbs of them shall be for their cattle
Uh-huh.
and for their goods and for all their beasts.
See, so you see the suburbs, y'all, we wasn't locked in no compound fence never. And it's just the Levites' inheritance. Y'all, we ain't never been behind no fence talking about compound living, throw it all in together.
No.
It ain't never been that.
No.
You see, the Levites are separated right here from the children of Israel.
That's right.
Go ahead, Elisha. What you got, bro?
So if the Levites had land, wouldn't it be required to do tithing if they had land?
Would it be required what?
Required tithing
Who, for them?
for Levites?
But they got
No, they're an
to do with the
inheritance.
of people.
Because they have to take care of your sins. Their job was to man the temple to make sure if you got in trouble, we on the clock 24/7. You know, they like, you know, it's a thing like a hotline.
Yeah.
The priests are on hotline all the time, even on the Sabbath day, Numbers 28.
Yeah.
The priests work and are blameless.
The people gave them their portions of land.
Yeah.
They wouldn't work the land there.
No, they wouldn't do no
no,
work
they
like
didn't
that.
have to.
Everything was already set up for them.
Because the Most High was their inheritance.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to do anything but minister, be the mediator between the 11 tribes and the Most High.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
4.
Yeah.
And the suburbs, and the suburbs of the cities which ye shall give unto the Levite shall reach from the wall of the city and outward 1,000 cubits round about.
Uh-huh.
And ye shall measure from without the city on the east side 2,000 cubits, and on the south side 2,000 cubits, on the west side 2,000 cubits, and on the north side 2,000 cubits. And the city shall be in the midst.
Uh-huh.
This shall be to them the suburbs of the city.
Right.
And among the cities which ye shall give unto the Levites, there shall be 6 cities for refuge.
For what?
For refuge.
Uh-huh.
Which ye shall appoint for the manslayer,
Uh-huh.
that he may flee thither. And to them ye shall add 42 cities.
See, so it was for the manslayer who was ever chasing somebody to kill him, because the Levites was our court system.
That's right.
See, so when they were out in the suburbs, just like you go to St. Louis County Courthouse, you go to St. Louis City of Ferguson Courthouse, these were the suburbs. That's why we travel out there to the courthouse.
On the north side, 200
Right.
cubits.
So you know, or they'll be in a downtown area of a place that where it's away from technically houses and different things, that where you have the court system, because they can't just have it surrounded with common people because they may storm the prison. You know, so they put them out in the suburbs like that for a reason. Go ahead, bro.
Where you at? Where you at?
Verse 7.
We're in Numbers 35 and 7.
So, you there, brother?
I'm there, bro. Thank you.
Okay. So all the cities which ye shall give to the Levites shall be 48 cities. Them shall ye give with their suburbs.
Uh-huh.
And the cities which ye shall give shall be of the possession of the children of Israel.
Uh-huh.
From them that have many ye shall give many. But from them that have few ye shall give few. Every one shall give of his cities unto the Levites according to his inheritance which he inherited.
See, so it didn't tell you to throw anything out. It just says you give a portion of your inheritance. Not everybody say, if you got much, you give much. If you got little, you give little. But the problem with this new compound doctrine is a lot of people is coming in with zero. And the only one spending is the plenty. They're milking them like rented mules.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened when you get in there, because they say throw everything in the pot. Well, somebody ain't throwing in the pot. The script always said don't let you out of nothing. If you got few, we need some of that few. If you got more, we need some of that more. Well, he got me. No, he don't got you. You need to get you.
Right, to get you.
That's why there's a difference in
He can't
poor
save you.
and a beggar. Absolutely. Poor means an economic status. I got more month than money. My bills are $900, but I'm only bringing in $750. I got to get $150 somewhere
You're gonna be short.
by the end of the month. That's poor. Rich is, I ain't worried about no bills. What I'm worried about bills for?
All paid off.
They all paid off.
Right.
I got auto pay.
Thank you.
See, we can't get auto pay. Hell no, don't you take that money out of there unless I tell
I
you
ain't
to. What
signed
you
up
mean?
for it yet.
Automatic pay.
I ain't signed up for it yet.
Look,
Hey, boy,
and keep sending them letters
I was
too.
almost
I want to
complaining
see what y'all charging me in case I can't pay my internet.
Man,
I don't have to pay for
had
mail.
an auto pay taken out of one of my
Boy,
I'm like,
caught
wait a
you by
minute.
surprise, didn't it,
Like,
Elijah?
wait a minute.
My phone bill say you can save $10
Like,
if
what
you
you
just
say?
do
Some
auto
money
pay.
out of this account.
What you say, Elijah? I done been jacked.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm calling around questioning. Then I see that I look at my online statement and like, oh, that's where it went.
That's where it went.
Automatic debit.
Let's get some more. Where we at?
Verse
9.
9.
Yeah.
And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye be come over Jordan into the land of Canaan, then ye shall appoint you cities to be cities of refuge for you, that the slayer may flee thither, which killeth any person at unaware.
See, so that the slayer, see, and notice it didn't use murderer. It said a slayer because when you kill somebody, they're slayed. Right. It's a difference. You mean you had to strike them to put them down. That's a slaying. So the slayer that killed unawares may have a safety net because, you know, a lot of people bring justice into their own hands.
Yeah, his family might be coming looking for you.
For you and don't know, you know, because a lot of people don't want to believe their children are that bad and done anything. Shalom, Butterfly. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 11.
Yeah.
No, 12. And they shall be unto you cities for refuge from the avenger. That the manslayer die not.
Right.
Until he stand before the congregation and judge.
See, so don't kill him too early because the avenger of death is on the way, y'all. And the avenger of death is somebody Satan had jumped into, and he's on the way. See, the avenger of death can jump into you and lead you to your death. Like Sonny Corleone from The Godfather son. So look, a hothead. So they knew he was going to come when his sister got hit again. So they just set up the hit for him. You can't be calling nobody, yeah, it's like that. I'm on my way. Look for a green Cherokee. I'm on my way. Oh, you going to tell them what you
In the green Cherokee.
And I'm coming over the bridge.
And I'm coming over the bridge. And they just sit right at the foot of the bridge. Ambush. Because your vengeance is so hot, you feel that you're threatening like that. You're in God's position now, you're saying, I'm the avenger of death.
And he also trusted in his riches
and his riches, yeah.
the power of his family.
What you got back there, Tom?
That's like that, the 4 horsemen, the angels under the river Euphrates, that's gonna be loose to kill 2/3 of the men of
Was
the
he the
earth.
one that asked that question?
No, that was the other boy.
Yeah. When he said it, I was like, didn't we just?
But that was Numbers 9, though. We talked about that trumpet, but the beast that's left out of the bottomless pit, that will be the Antichrist. So we got to be careful about what we're reading, what's coming out of there. First, it's going to be sin at a high level that get released, but also the Antichrist come from the bottom pit because he comes from perdition, and perdition is that side of the Abraham's bosom. Judas Iscariot's in there, and Nero Caesar's in there. So that's why we can't just say who the Antichrist going to be because he has to come from perdition. And perdition means the unholy holding spot of the unrighteous, damned to hell. That's where he's going to come from. That's where he's going to be let out of. That's why Revelation 9:9 tell you that he's called, this is who he's called. In the Hebrew tongue, he called Abaddon. In the Greek tongue, but he's that no good beast in the bottomless pit. So he will come back and be the Antichrist, but it's going to be somebody that's going to exalt himself as God. Perdition, y'all. That's what it says. So ain't no need in us looking forward to be the nobody that ain't in perdition. And that means a damnable mindset as well and ain't been put to death yet, or they already in that location. But they have to be, they're going to do a form of resurrection to make it seem like Christ's second coming.
Right.
You understand what I'm
He's
saying?
got a-
Because
he's got a
Satan
mirror.
gives the Antichrist all his power, like the Father turns everything over to Christ.
he's gonna mirror
It's a mirror
everything.
image. He's gonna masquerade, y'all. But the sun and the moon gonna protect us from
Right. That's
falling
how you
for
know.
it, because it
That's
say
how you know.
if it was possible, he would deceive the very elect. He gonna make lightning come down just like this and point. Boom! All satellite driven. They're like, oh. If we already at card tricks.
If you scared when the sky crackers,
Boy,
gonna
look
bust
here.
your heart.
Boy, wide open. Let's get caught up, y'all.
So it's not,
Go ahead, Emo, I'm sorry.
so it's not that, one that they say is just like Jesus over in Israel right now.
Just like it's what?
What is that one that they said it's just like Jesus over there now?
Oh, like the ones over there claiming now?
I saw the sun come
Yeah,
in here
yeah.
today.
Yeah, Akradale
That-
sent me a
that beat not
picture.
him.
Akradale sent me another picture of somebody. It looked like he was Crazy Willie, had straightened up.
Crazy Willie.
You know, used to be downtown acting like he was handicapped, and then they saw him in a three-piece suit at the Isley Brother concert, standing up, taking pictures.
Oh, yeah. The one used to
Yeah.
always have his legs folded under.
Yeah, had his leg folded up like Eddie Murphy was doing. We used to call him Crazy Willie.
Yeah.
But Crazy Willie was at the OJ's concert, boy, dressed up, taking photos. But this him right here. Akradale sent me the Messiah's here. YahooJudah.com. That's how they say you can reach him. Here, Tuba, if you can get a little bit of that.
They say you can reach him.
Yeah, yeah.
That look like Hezekiah.
No, it ain't Hezekiah, though.
Oh, man.
I don't know where he at, but Akradale sent me this. But this is just many come in my name saying I am Christ.
The
In
sun,
the last days.
the sun was shining when we came
It's
in.
the next
Andre 3000 looking cat.
man, almost look like Paisley the Hebrew done cut his beard, but it ain't.
You gotta say it right there.
But then he holding up the
Hey,
fingers
man.
of Satan.
Yeah. Look, he doing the white Jesus peace sign like this. But that's just so y'all. We see it constantly, y'all. We gonna see more of this, more and more and more because of the doctrines out there that's saying ye are God. So me and no people are open to it. Somebody coming and saying they God. But that's the next one on the block, y'all. Besides that other boy with that long hook head in the back now that got stars food.
Oh, boy.
Look like a question mark on the back of his head.
Yeah, boy. That boy got an enlarged cranium.
Enlarged cranium, don't he?
Looking like the alien.
Yeah, let's get this caught up, y'all.
Verse 13.
Yeah.
And of these cities, which ye shall give 6 cities, shall ye have for refuge.
Uh-huh.
Ye shall give 3 cities on this side Jordan, and 3 cities shall ye give in the land of Canaan, which shall be cities of refuge. These 6 cities shall be a refuge, both for the children of Israel and for the stranger.
And for who?
The stranger.
Because they always amongst us, y'all. Ain't never been no difference, unless there's a 13th tribe. Ain't no such thing we read, is it?
No.
So this always tell us strangers been around us. Go ahead.
And for the sojourner among them,
Uh-huh.
that everyone that killeth any person unawares may flee thither.
That killeth any person unawares. Y'all, you know things can happen like that you push the door or something you don't realize. You be like, wait a minute, I was just over there. You know, or something happened, you kill somebody unawares. That can happen, y'all.
It does happen.
It happens all the time. You know, you can leave a door open and somebody walk out. That's why we had to have a battlement around if you had an upper deck. A battlement is a railing.
Yeah.
You can have no railing. You can have no upper deck. Come on out on the deck on the second floor and no railings. Somebody think they're on the floor and go to lean back like this and ain't nothing there.
When you see that,
All the way down.
Don't lean back.
They don't mean to disturb the class. I have one of these extra waters, man. We short of water.
Yeah, hadn't you been there? Boy? We said, you go in the room in there?
Yeah, ain't
All right, we'll take care of it. Go ahead.
Chill out.
You got no water in that big old cooler?
Yeah, look at boy, what
Wait,
you
but
got
you
in
coming
there?
here with
Yeah,
a
look at that big old cooler, boy. We thought you had,
Coming here with
we
a
had, you
cooler,
thought you
need
had,
something to drink.
look, boy, to resurrect 30, 40 people been in the desert and ain't had no water.
Seems like that thing is worthless.
Just saying, yeah. Empty water bottles in there. Well, this is what I used to have. Go ahead, bro. Let people. No, we good. I'm good, bro. Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, no.
I'll take it.
Verse 16.
Yeah.
And if he smite him with an instrument of
Listen
iron,
up, y'all. Go ahead, Elisha. Read that again.
Verse 16.
Yeah.
And if he smite him with an instrument of iron.
If he smite him with an instrument of iron, that could be a hammer or a pistol.
Or
Go ahead.
So that he die.
Yeah.
He is a murderer.
What is he?
A murderer.
Uh-huh.
The murderer shall surely be put to death.
Uh-huh.
And if he smite him with the throwing of a stone, wherewith he may die, and he die, he is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death.
And you asking, where did the change come from? Well, we stop off of the first two if he does it and don't understand what he's doing. Now we're coming into a murder, and we'll get back there. What's up, L9? We'll get back to the one that does it unaware. But this is talking about what you do if you kill somebody. You kill them with a piece of iron. Hit them over the head with a pistol or some brass knuckles. Iron. You know, go ahead, bro.
So, like, basically, if you do a hand-to-hand combat and you just happen to fight them off, but you happen to hit a murder guy, then it's considered slaying.
Just slaying, yeah.
If you go get something, doing that it could kill him,
Premeditated.
attacking with him, then that's murder.
Yeah, it is.
That's why they had the gun laws like they have them, to put it in the glove compartment of certain
Yeah.
things, so then they can prove you premeditated because you had to go and put your hands on
Right.
it and then come back.
And put that clip in that pistol.
Yeah.
So as we get down, y'all gonna see it clear itself up, because it jumped from I don't know I killed nobody to now I'm being called a murderer. No, you're not being called a murderer. It's just saying if you go do these things, because you usually think it up. This is why you have to make sure you don't have that evil in your heart when you lay down to sleep, because if you start dreaming about it and all you think about if somebody done you wrong, you're not thinking about how to get them back in the least way. You're thinking about in the worst way. I hope somebody just catch him out there and just bust his head open. Do you really hope that? Just because they say your feet was too big for them shoes. Well, if meat hanging out the side of them, you need to get some more shoes. That wasn't personal.
That was the truth.
Yeah, it was a true statement. Look at him.
Let's get some more. Where we at?
That might become your enemy.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. You need some boots from Nanook the Eskimo on. You can't wear them pointed toe shoes. Go ahead. Go.
Verse 18.
Yeah.
Or if he smite him with a hand weapon of wood.
A hand weapon of wood. What would that be? A club. Right. A club. A baseball bat. Go ahead.
Wherewith he may die. And he died. He is a murderer.
What is he?
A murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death. The revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer. When he meeteth him, he shall slay him. But if he thrust him of hatred, or hurl at him by laying of weight, that he die, or in enmity smite him with his hand, that he die. He that smote him shall surely be put to death. For he is a murderer.
See, because the difference is verse 20 when it says, but if he thrust him of hatred, player hate, I just can't stand it. You set him up to be killed or you kill him.
Lay in wait for
Of hatred or laying in wait means you're hiding to kill it.
I know he coming by here.
So you're plotting.
Right.
You like, I'm gonna get him, yeah.
All day long.
All day long I've been plotting it. No, he get off at this time.
That's what Proverbs say. He that diggeth the ditch shall dig a ditch for his own life.
Who got a question? Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry, Tom. Go ahead.
These scriptures are covering all these little dudes with these hoodies with these minis at the gas station.
Well, if they do that.
Not all of them.
So what we're talking about is that if they kill with a hand weapon, if they've been laying wait, like I'm talking about jack artists, they laying in wait. That's who, if you talk about them, yes, that's what we're talking about. And pull that hand weapon out on you or threaten you with a baseball bat, you trying to get out of the car just to unbuckle that seatbelt, they like this, empty them pockets. You sitting down. That may be hard unless you already got that cannon ready.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, if you're a real man, they can look in your eyes
Yeah,
and
they
say,
know.
"No, not him.
Because they're looking for the easy victim.
Not him. He ain't just finna take this."
Right, right. And he may take this pistol from me. So y'all, they do because technically they don't want to kill, but they may have to because of their drug habit.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't want to kill,
I'm gonna help them out.
but they may have to.
They'll be over
You know,
there.
Right.
in the habit for good.
Right.
I cured him.
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
He ain't on them narcotics no more.
Right.
Ain't no 12-step program.
But look, y'all, that's why we have to make sure, though, because the law tell us we got to be careful that we're going to be the avenger, because if you catch somebody breaking in your car, if you ain't dial 911 first and you put a bullet in them, you going to jail.
Yes, you are. Yes,
Because
you
they
are.
say that's property.
Yep.
Well, you telling me that property is worth more than that individual's life. And then, now it's one thing if you saying, hey, get out of there, they fired at you, because a lot of them got pistols. They'll try to shoot you back in the house. At that point, you can.
Once you fear your life, then you can
You
lay him
can't
down.
even booby trap a car
Before
for
you fear
murder.
your life, you can't do nothing.
Look, partner of mine told me his next door neighbor, I'm talking about these 76 Lincoln Continentals, had these little things over the back real well called skirts. They used to clamp on. You
They
know
put
what I'm
razor blades in
Jeremiah? Well, that was a hot item to steal. Everybody's stealing them. You come out, your skirt's gone off the back of that Continental. So what he did is crazy glue fish hooks on the handle because you had to reach up under there.
And pull that little handle
And
down.
when he runs it, and you quit cause you stealing. He went up under there and snatched it, and the fish hooks lock in. You can't snatch back out because the fish hooks lock in. So when he come out, he was laying just like this, still by the wheel well, and he said, went back in the house and got that weapon of wood. Hit him all across the shoulder, and he snatched that hand out of there then when that wood was hitting up here and where the neck meet at the shoulder, and one right there, right here. Pow, and that hand came out of there. And then he called the police while he was wounded. They locked him up for sabotage. You can't fix this vehicle like that. Put an alarm on a higher guard. Have him sitting there in one of them, them old lawn chairs with that thin metal and that weave. Just have him sitting by your skirts all night. But you have to hire that you can't booby trap anything. Can't put a shotgun at your garage door so if it opens, boom! Can't do that either. Can't do it.
Gabrielle, you sent me that video of the dude stealing the package off the dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was it? It blew.
Yeah.
Set a bomb.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he got in trouble for that, didn't he?
But
I don't
look,
know about that. I know
all it
the
was,
dude
those was like
soiled his
smoke
pants.
bombs. Those was
Dude,
like,
like, man, that shit is on my skin.
yeah, right, because those were like the die packs that they put in the bank. So that's what they do to blow up. But you can't blow up none of them packets from Porch Pirates. You cannot do it or you're going to jail.
Right. ATF will be at your house.
Sure will. Let's get it, y'all. Well, we're at ATF. Going, well, how you fix that like that?
Exactly.
You modified a weapon.
You modified a weapon. Go ahead. Where we at, license? Verse 18.
21.
Okay.
Or in enmity smite him with his hand that he died.
Boy, that's just an open hand slap with power and fierceness.
Or break every
Yeah.
tooth. He that smote him shall surely be put to death, for he is a murderer. The revenger of blood shall slay the murderer when he meeteth him.
And this is what Cain said. My punishment is greater than I can bear. The avenger is going to find me. He's going to kill me.
Yeah.
The Lord had to put out an edict then for any man finding Cain should slay him. So when the Lord say that, then people run with it. So it had to be more people on the earth, or they would have known. Well, how they gonna know he a murderer and God ain't never mentioned these other people? So what laws, statutes, and judgments do they have? Because if they ain't mentioned, they could be murderers. They may accept him. But no, who ended up killing him was his grandson, Lamech. Ended up killing him because it was future tense down the road. And look, when he was banished, he didn't know if it was going to be from Adam or the other sons that was going to be chasing him.
Right.
Because he's a murderer.
Everyone he saw, he thought was going
to be at it. And
because that's what he said. He said, everyone that sees me is
and
going to seek my death. And he said, no, I ain't gonna put you to death like that. But he had that mark of fear that everybody he looked at, if they looked at him a certain way, it's just like if you're guilty of a crime.
Yeah.
You think everybody looking at man,
Yeah.
they looking at me.
Sure is. Right, look.
Ain't nobody tripping on
Right,
me.
look, man, why your auntie looking at me like that? Man, she don't know nothing about what you did. Man, the way she looking at me, cutting her eyes at me, no, that's your conscience.
Yeah.
Bearing witness on you. What you got, LC?
And the men doing this,
Huh?
the men.
Lamette?
They're doing this.
No,
not
not him.
different.
It's two
That's a
look.
Different Lamech.
Two legit because you got sons from the same mama, so names are common. Just like names are common with us with Esau. We have same common names.
Right.
We have like manner names. You have names that were in the neighborhood you grew up in. Like Joseph's name was changed to Zephaniah, Heptop, or whatever it was. Daniel's name was changed to Belshazzar. So your name is changed. That's all it meant. That's why our behavior is still what it is, because a name can change. You can't go off no name. You have to go off of behavior and the knowledge that it has.
Right. So you judge the two Lamechs. One Lamech came from a righteous seed.
Yeah.
The other Lamech came from an unrighteous seed.
Because Cain had a Methuselah in their line too.
Yeah,
It's Enoch too, Enos
Yeah,
in Cain's line. Because they're common names.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse
22.
22.
Yep.
But if he thrust him suddenly without enmity, or have cast upon him anything without laying of weight, or with any stone wherewith a man may die, seeing him not, and cast it upon him that he died, and was not his enemy, neither sought his harm, then the congregation shall judge between the slayer and the revenger of blood according to these judgments.
Read verse 23 again, Elisha. This separates the difference of what happened, because then the judgment is made if it was premeditated or just manslaughter.
I'm going to start at 22.
Go ahead, Elisha.
But if he thrust him suddenly without enmity, or have cast upon him anything without laying of weight, or with any stone wherewith a man may die, seeing him not, and cast it upon him that he died, and was not his enemy, neither sought his harm, then the congregation shall judge between the slayer and the revenger of blood according to these judgments.
Because he didn't seek his death. Look, y'all, I don't care what happened, the law is coming. And if you kill somebody and you leave the scene, the first thing they're going to ask, why didn't you wait for the authorities? Your answer better be because he had backup coming, I had to get the hell out of there. Well, it's been 2 years, why you ain't called us?
Right.
I got lost.
I got lost.
That ain't gonna work. We found now. We found you now.
I was on my way.
Look, it has no statute of limitations.
Right.
In this world or the world, well, not in the world to come, because there ain't gonna be no more of that. But there's no statute of limitations for that. It never goes off the book. We'll hunt you down for this crime to the rest of your life until we get you. You could be 110 years old. We putting you in the penitentiary at 110 years old. What you got, Sid?
I'm just switching tracks.
Uh-huh.
Is abortion murder when a woman chooses to let the people abort the baby?
And that's a fine line because it's based on where it happens at, because there's laws about killing the conception. So it's if she got raped and the conception took place, unless that baby is causing some severe harm to her and she has to go with it, because I'm saying there's legal reasons that you may have to put a fetus down. Because it comes to, but if you're saying if they're legally minded, then that means they're having sex and it was a mistake. Because look, it was probably outside of marriage. Look, married people don't go to the abortion clinic unless there's been a transgression involved. So what I'm saying is anybody that goes, there's been a mistake. You said you wasn't gonna do nothing but put the circumcision in, and he's saying you said you was on the pill.
Now I'm not talking about the law. I'm talking about a godliness, because
Well, if you're talking about God's
there is a
murder, there's law.
that approved on abortion because she was raped, but the baby is an innocent baby.
Right.
Yeah, even though you raped, why would you kill a baby?
Right, so it's a fine line. It all depends on what's involved. What if she, you have to look at what if she raped by her brother? You finna have a waterhead baby. You know, so what would his life be like? You know, so there's decisions have to be made, but
God still consider it as murder.
It all depends on where the line of the slayer. Like I'm saying, certain things happen in people's life. If they don't fit the criteria, it's not that. See, because what it said is to destroy the conception. And what that means is if you destroy after you've been made pregnant already, that's the problem, because its life is started in. So if they kill that life after it's already been conceived, they have to be justified just like this through court. Right. So the avenger don't get them, so they can check the slayer and see what happened. There may be fine guidelines around that. I'm just not going to outright and say, yeah, they murderers, because it may not fit the criteria. Every case is going to be individual. Yeah, it's going to be based off at least 2 cases for a manslayer, for a murderer that does it just because it's the option. I done messed up again, I done slipped, so this is always my way out. I just give these people $200 or $300 and they take care of it for me. You know, my mistake. And then I go make that mistake again. Versus... Right, somebody, a bastard, yeah, and somebody just go in, like what happened to Dinah with Shechem. You know, where he raped her and treated her like a whore, and you know, if she'd have been with child, we'd have had to really look at that situation, because look, what happened to David's and Bathsheba's first child?
God.
Huh?
And the Most High
they say the Lord the baby got sick, but it came to full term. Now the deal is, should you let it come to full term is where we at on the question, because full term is the thin line between everything. But that baby of Uriah, of David and Bathsheba couldn't go to 8 days because they would have had to circumcise. Right. So they'd have circumcised a baby that was in abortion and murder, because Uriah was murdered and Bathsheba was taken against the laws of God. So that baby can't be circumcised. So the Lord took the baby because of their bad behavior. Now, are they considered to be murderers because they did that evil act? Even if the baby came to fruition. Listen to what I'm saying. The baby was full term, right, and 7 days old, and the Lord put the baby down because of their transgression. What's the difference if they put it down before it come out of the womb? That's where the fine line is at, sister. That's where we have to make the fine judgment. Out of the womb or when it's done in the womb. Because a woman could eat the wrong thing and cause a miscarriage. You know that, right, don't you? That's why we had to be careful. That's why Samson, mama, in Judges 13, you must eat this, right, you must eat this, you cannot eat that, you cannot eat this. It's just like if a mother drinking while she's pregnant. She's drinking for 9 months. What you think gonna happen to that fetus? So when they come out of the womb, it's already looking for the liquor store.
Where my drink?
Mm-hmm. Look.
Where my drink at?
Where my drink at? Look. Mama go to put the breast in his mouth and he slapped that away and dig in his father's back pocket. That's what I'm looking for. And screw the top off with that paper bag still on it.
She think I want some milk.
Go ahead, LC. Y'all, we gotta get it moving. Go ahead, bro. The difference is one was planned to give to Molech for 9 months. When they got pregnant, we're gonna give this baby to Molech. She rubbing her stomach. Molech's gonna love it. Molech's gonna love it. When you try to make that abortion, those 2 different things, because abortion is mistakes. One is planned and one is mistakes. Do they line around the same line? Yes, but that's the difference in like manslaughter and murder, like what we're talking about. See, there's fine lines with killing. That's why we want to go over this thoroughly. So, but if you hold that license real quick, somebody give me Deuteronomy 25:11. This is very important because of the seed of a man, even that, and what happens even if somebody getting an advantage and somebody's killed. The Most High have to look at that. And even, punishment was put down real quick. Hit me that Deuteronomy 25:11. What did it say?
Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 11.
Hold on, let him get caught up. See, the Lord, he dictates because he's the vengeance and is his. And he decides, and his laws are just. and these nations got our Bible now, y'all. They're close to it. The reason we don't really look at the difference is because we've been trained so much the white man's court system. White man's court system. Well, how in the hell you saying this is your book? Ain't your book in the white man's court system? Mm-hmm. So when do you switch? How do you switch your game back and forth? See, that's playing around. The Most High never put us in captivity, and He wasn't there. This has been in every captivity we've been in. Ain't it been in this captivity? Do we pick it up like we supposed to, Elijah? No, we don't. Go ahead. What did it say, Elijah? Or whoever got it. 25 and 7.
Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 11.
Yes, sir.
When men strive together.
When men do what?
Strive together. One with another.
That means they scrapping, y'all. It's a fist fight, boy, y'all, like they fighting. They fighting. Go ahead. What else it say?
And the wife of one draweth near to deliver her husband out of the hand of him that smiteth him.
So he's getting his rear end whooped, and it said that smited him. He's choking him out, y'all. He about to leave. He got him in the rear neck chokehold. Got him like this. And smiting him. Smite means to almost put to death. Go ahead. What else it say?
And putteth forth her hand, and taketh him by the secrets.
And taketh him by the secrets. What do y'all think the secrets are? Okay, go ahead.
Say them Jews.
Yeah.
Then thou shalt cut off her hand. Thine eye shall not pity her.
See, because the judges will cut off her hand at that point, because a woman's hand ain't supposed to be there on another man under no circumstances. And look, if she started to fight, you know, now he done got caught up and he getting killed, so now she trying to deliver him, so she reached for the man's secrets to get him off, because he's going to turn it loose.
Oh, yeah.
You grab a man's secrets, everything stops.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Gee, you don't move. You see, like, look, and Fridays when Cat Williams had them vice scripts on. On that boy just got out of prison. He had them vice scripts on them secrets. I don't care. Look, he was big as King Kong, but he was just walking like this, wasn't he?
He was just gonna take it with you.
He just was gonna take it.
I'm a boy, Damon.
Yeah, and he just clamped down on him tight. Wait a minute, you got muscles the size of volleyball. And you just can't throw a punch. Don't want to take the chance, Liza, that he crush him. You know why? Because all of his thought process, he couldn't do what he wanted to do.
Man.
Because you ain't going to get no rise.
Boy.
You ain't going to do no raping at this point, because he got them secrets. So, y'all, that's why.
You ain't finna do Nathan.
And then that was a righteous point. Men would put their hand under the thigh of an individual when a vow was being made, because the testes of a man, his word is his bond. So they will put the hand right under the thigh. That was mean, look, I'm putting my testes on the line about this. Not my mama. I'm not putting this on the Most High. Right. I'm putting this on me and my testes. Let me be a eunuch if I don't keep my vow.
Thou hast said.
And that's not good for a young man.
Thou hast said.
Right. So y'all, we have to understand that. And not only that, but they got to make sure these women ain't looking for the best fighter. You may be married to him and start to think he'll win. And then you reach for the secrets like, wait a minute, I see why he's winning.
It's a little weight here.
Wait a minute, is this why he winning?
Hey man, let's get back to
Look, y'all, what I'm just saying, y'all, we have to be careful.
These cats better start going.
Look, because if you get into a fight at a club because a woman is arguing with a man, it can lead to these things. You get choked out to who you think she gonna be with the club the next week. Fist of Fury, ain't she? Let's get some more where we at.
You couldn't defend me.
Right. What'd she say, boy?
You couldn't
defend me. So you win now?
No. We're going back to the numbers.
Yeah. Just wanted to let y'all know how serious things were about taking life and giving life, and the importance of seed of men, you know, because women are trained to kick where when you fight?
In the growing.
Huh?
In the growing.
In the where?
In the growing.
They taught that from a young age, but men can't be taught that. No. Kick her right in the, you can't, can you?
No, sir.
So men have to practice. If it get violent in the house, called the sideways correction. That's where you turn to the side when they trying to kick. You be like this. They just kicking hip till you can get control. You ain't got to put your hands on them, but you can take their hand and feet off of you. So they kick thigh. You know, it's like Lisha got some pit bulls trained to the maximum. But I turn sideways when they too close. Just sideways, you can have some hip, but you can't bite in the zipper. I'll walk with a lip like this from here out, but you can't bite at the zipper. So every time this dog's out, I just be like this. What's up, Brutus? Want something to eat?
Oh, you trying to get a friend?
Yes, sir, but sideways. Look, cause you'll be like this. Get him off me. Cause you don't want him to tear no more. Y'all hate to have to be graphic, but sometimes we have to be. Let's get some more where we at. Back in Numbers.
20 what? 24?
Yeah.
Okay, I started 24. Then the congregation, excuse me, shall judge between the slayer and the revenger of blood, according to these judgments.
Right.
And the congregation shall deliver the slayer out of the hand of the revenger of blood. And the congregation shall restore him to the city of his refuge, whether he was fled. And he shall abide in it until the death of the high priest.
Until the death of the what?
High priest.
See, y'all, and this is very important that we understand this. Don't leave where we send you to for you to be safe. Right. He may have a cousin that's still looking for you. He may have a son that's 8 years old when this happened. Now he a teenager. He may be looking. You have to stay till the priest is dead, or you know, like administration change, or that leader of that house is dead, or where that message can be passed on. That's who key. The priest had to change. Like Christ didn't come back until Herod was dead.
Right.
And this priest. Moses didn't come back to Egypt until Pharaoh was dead. So the authority over at that time, or who we would call the DA at that time, when they go out of administration, things change. It's like O.J. Simpson. Not O.J. Simpson, Bill Cosby. He made a deal with the DA, the former DA. A new DA came in and tried to reverse that decision that was made, that he incriminated himself. So they took it to a higher court. They're like, no, they already had promised him that because you change orders, you can't keep that same thing. That thing go away with him. You know, so that's why Bill Cosby got let out of jail. You know, because of that priest who died out, left that same charge up there that we ain't gonna charge you. A new one come in and try to put it down. No, it don't work that way. Y'all, if we just pay attention to what's happening to these laws and different things, we can see the influence of the Bible. So we have to be it and observe, but just don't do as they do it. You know what I'm saying? So we be careful that we follow God's law. Go ahead.
And shall abide in it until the death of the high priest, which was anointed with the holy oil. But if the slayer shall at any time come without the border of the city of his refuge, whither he was fled, and the revenger of blood find him without the borders of the city of his refuge, and the revenger of blood kill the slayer, he shall not be guilty of blood.
Y'all see that? Because he came outside. Look, some people just have to come back. Man, they had sent him off to Mississippi. He come back, man. They got him, man. We done heard it thousands of times, ain't we? Caught him at the club, tripping. Man, why would he come back? He just couldn't miss it like that.
Right.
You up in the club buying everybody drinks, and the Avenger is still alive.
Right.
The high priest still alive. Here you back.
And got wind of you.
And got wind you back. And you was going to slip back out. You was going to dip back out after the party.
Right.
No, you done left your safety zone. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 28.
Yeah.
Because he should have remained in the city of his refuge until the death of the high priest. But after the death of the high priest, the slayer shall return into the land of his possession.
See, so after the death, you can go back home after your trouble has been resolved. But you can't go back then. How you going to leave your safety net for some fun? Shalom, my kid. You know, you get drawn back into the world. just for a little bit of fun, and you think you can have the same fun you had before that transgression happened.
Right.
No, it ain't no such thing. No, you begging for the wrong thing. And you will end up getting killed at that party. And y'all, as crazy as they get now, dog, do you know the Avenger of Blood is now showing up at the funeral homes? It's people getting killed at the graveyard and while the funeral's going in. They bust the door open and just start shooting wildly in the funeral. Y'all, we at a whole nother level of unrighteousness. And I'm talking about in Israel. Israel is doing that. How do you go out to the graveyard? Yeah, they about to lower him in the ground. As soon as he lower him in the ground, we gonna light this mother. Can y'all imagine that? People running over other people's graves? Somebody's out there shooting like that wildly at a funeral. What is that gonna make you? And then as soon as they get in the car and they hear the police sirens, now they're on the first 48, and you would think this is the training you should have had earlier. Yes, sir. No, sir, I'm gonna be honest with you, sir. Wait a minute. You who, Bubba? The killer on the block.
Who, Bubba?
Yeah.
Hey, man, y'all was
Go ahead.
reading a story last week sometime. A sister went to her child's gravesite to visit his grave, and she got shot.
Yeah. She got shot, absolutely, bro.
You can't even go visit the gravesite.
That's what we're talking about,
they was
bro.
laying in wait for her to come visit the son's gravesite and shot her. That's crazy.
And they just had to put a camera out there because at this one gravesite, the flowers kept coming up missing, and yellow stains deeper than pit bull piss stains. They caught her ex-husband pissing on her grave every day because of their divorce early on. He tore the flowers up and he pissed on her grave every day. He made it his business to get up, y'all Google it right now, and go piss on her grave every day. That's some unnatural hatred within you, man.
Should have let that go.
Where we at, Elijah? Let's finish up, y'all, because we got to get in this Jasher 71.
Verse 29.
Yeah.
So these things shall be for a statute of judgment unto you throughout your generations in all your dwellings.
In all your dwellings, even in captivity, y'all, we had to have a safe spot. Y'all, we had a lot of that. Than what we had to get folks from Mississippi in time. Yeah. And white folks gonna kill you. They'll send you up to St. Louis.
Right.
Let's get some more.
Whoso killeth any person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses.
By the mouth of who?
Witnesses. But one witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die.
See, not one witness. That's Deuteronomy 19. That's Deuteronomy 17. That's 1 Corinthians 13. That's Matthew 18. 2 Corinthians 13. Thank you, Elijah. Where one witness cannot have anybody put to death. That's why we're just talking about the deal with the husband and wife, the mama, is always two sides to a story. That's why it always had to be two witnesses.
That's right.
The two witnesses, if they corner you, if it ain't no physical two witnesses, you're your two witnesses. They get it verbally on tape, and then you sign a confession.
Right. Yep.
That's two witnesses against yourself. Let's get some more. Where we at?
Moreover, ye shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer, which is guilty of death, but he shall be surely put to death. And you shall take no satisfaction for him that is fled to the city of refuge, that he shall come again to dwell in the land until the death of the priest.
So don't try to coax him back. No, they say all of them got locked up. His cousin Junior's still out, but he ain't no killer. Junior could get them, could be a killer.
Yeah.
Stay where you at. Don't come back here. Where we at?
So when Moses ran off from killing that Egyptian, he was in the city of refuge.
We're going to get there. Yeah, that's where we're going. So it's Jasher 71.
Stay there too.
We're in that spirit. Yeah, go ahead.
33.
What it say?
So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are. For blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
But by the blood of him that shed it. Recompense.
Yes.
That fixes the problem. Go ahead, what else to say?
Defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit, wherein I dwell, For I, the Most High, dwell among the children of Israel.
So now let's just back this up for a little bit more understanding. Give me Deuteronomy 4, and we'll start about, because I want to get into that jazz. This just the other clarify of this. Start about verse 40. Y'all read 1 through 40, but we're going to pick it up at 40. Deuteronomy 4 and 40.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 40. Thou shalt
Hold on, Lysa. Here, page is flipping. Hey, y'all looking.
Now that you there, we are there.
Ah.
4 and 40.
Ah. Tell you what, started 39, Lysa.
Okay. Everybody there?
No, we good, sis. Thank you.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 39.
What it say?
Know therefore this day, and consider it in thine heart, that the Most High, He is Elohim in heaven above, and upon the earth beneath.
Right.
There is none else.
So it say, consider this in your heart. That's in your mind and soul. This where it has to be. It can't be on the flesh. It can't be in a clothing. It can't be marching like this, and it ain't in that. You got to consider in your heart, because you may not be able to march. You may be, you may be in a penitentiary where they take your clothes and give you a thin jumpsuit. What you gonna do then? Where else we at?
Verse 40.
Yeah.
Thou shalt keep therefore His statutes and His commandments, which I command thee this day, that it may go well with thee, and with thy children after thee, and that thou mayest prolong thy days upon the earth, which the Most High Elohim giveth thee forever. Then Moses severed 3 cities on this side Jordan toward the sunrise.
Yeah.
That the slayer might flee thither.
That what?
The slayer might flee thither.
So now we're getting into, because we read in Numbers, the 3 cities, you have to put 3 cities.
Right.
But now Moses going in detail telling you where the cities need to be amongst Israel.
Okay.
Who around? Go ahead, Elisha.
Which shall kill his neighbor unawares, and hated him not in times past, and that fleeing unto one of these cities he might live.
See, that killed somebody unawares and didn't hate him in times past. Y'all see the language in there? It ain't cause he let 3 years go by and he had beef with him 3 years ago. Wasn't none of that, because you still gonna say, people like, well, man, he did have beef with him 3 years ago, dog. And he mysteriously, they show up in the same park at the same time. Yeah, y'all know how we are. Yeah, by the time the rumor get through.
Right. But even if you know today, when they, as a murder committed, they look to see if there was any prior
connection
about this murder.
Absolutely.
If
Same way.
If there was any wording on his social media about hating this individual,
right,
plotting on this individual.
I didn't really mean that. You know, that's just street talk. They like, no. Because your phone pinging right where his pinging.
Now tell us about the fight y'all had 3 years
ago.
ago.
Oh boy, look here.
You didn't tell us about that.
You didn't tell us about that. I was going to. Go ahead, right?
But you conveniently didn't.
What else to say, Elisha?
Verse 43.
Yeah.
Namely, Bezer, in the wilderness, in the plain country of the Reubenites.
Of the who?
Reubenites. And Ramoth, in Gilead, of the Gadites, and Golan, in Bashan, of the Manassanites.
So that was one refuge of, you gonna say, Shalom, be careful out there. Okay. Go ahead. And so that was one of the cities, y'all. It was Reubenite country. Go ahead.
And this is the law which Moses set before the children of Israel. These are the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which Moses spake unto the children of Israel after they came forth out of Egypt. On this side Jordan, in the valley over against Beth Peor, in the land of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who dwelt at Heshbon, whom Moses, the children of Israel, smote after they were come forth out of Egypt.
See, y'all, so the wilderness wasn't no peaceful place like they keep trying to use that Isaiah, like we was chilling in the wilderness. We were warring in the wilderness. Y'all, if some of y'all, some of y'all in here a little young, but if y'all remember the movies Warriors, how they was moving through all of the cities and fighting the different gangs to get back to New York So that's what we was doing. We was moving through all of the lands who hated us, the Canaanites and different things. They didn't want us to get there. Some just gave us passage. They like, we don't want what your God just put on each of you. Y'all get a free pass. Look, get some fruit too while y'all going. There's water over there. Just keep going. But one group, it was Amalek now. Yeah. They put up a roadblock. No, y'all can't pass through here. So they sent us through where them jack artists was waiting. Right. To the rough part. No, y'all can't pass through here. No, go that way. So you gonna send us that way, and you just seen what the Lord did to Egypt. Don't care about nothing about Egypt. This ain't Egypt. This Amalek land. Go that way.
Well, he said.
So he had to pay for that. Later on, that was even, remember, Saul was supposed to put him down for that.
Right.
But Saul became friends with his offspring. That's what that hit was about. And Saul became friends with him. He like, well, and then he told him, kill everything. Kill all the beasts. I want them dead.
Every last
one of them. I want them dead. And Saul said, not all of them. And then he told him, and then have a sacrifice with me after you get through with what I told you to do. And here comes Saul gonna sacrifice some of the sheep from them. Didn't kill the man. Grab they sheep and then give it to the Lord. Saul was out of his mind.
Wow.
What you got back there, Thomas?
That was the precursor to before David came in and asked him, like, hey man, what you doing?
Yeah.
Why is he still alive?
Absolutely, bro. He's supposed to have been put down. When the Lord say put him down, put him down.
That's right.
But it was a little church. Put him down.
Right.
They got some nice clothes though, man.
Well, yeah, look here.
Look at these cats.
One boy kept a nice blade. He said, and burn up everything. Don't take no jewels because it be out. One boy said, I know he don't mean this. Look at these jewels. He got diamonds in it, bro. You want to keep it? No, I don't want to keep it. Well, I don't want to just burn it up. And then you just put it somewhere. The Lord say somebody got something that don't belong up in there.
Yeah.
He dug a hole and put it in his tent. And so him and his whole household.
Boy, look here.
Oh.
Not just him, his whole house, or even the children that didn't have nothing to do with it had to die.
Just like Haman.
You looking at them jewels that fascinated you. Like Negroes now fascinated with all type of crystal. Looking at them, think the power was in there. Ain't no power in there. They don't do nothing. And then this other thing that when we talk about free case rate, that Phariseeism. You know they do the new moon on the 15th day of the month, the full moon. Now Freemasonry do they top secrets on the full moon. Look up Freemasonry, the connection of Freemasonry and the full moon.
I sure seen it.
And ain't no coincidence they doing their feast days on the full moon. Not only that, all esoteric worshipers do their sex magic on the full moon. Yeah.
Sound like a lot of gumbo to me.
Boy, look here, is that mixed up late at night.
Oh.
Under the moon.
That's what Ezekiel was looking at in them rooms that the Most High
That's right.
in his room.
Yeah.
Ezekiel chapter 8.
Yep.
You see what the elders, the 70 elders doing that facing Jerusalem?
Yep.
Because that's what the Masons do. They face Jerusalem because they follow the light of Solomon.
Yeah.
Put the branch to their nose.
Yeah.
Look, so y'all back this Deuteronomy up back to 4:19 to tell you be driven to worship the stars, the sun, and the moon is gonna be a problem. Yeah. Well, finish this up, like, so we can get to this jazz and get ready to close out.
46 or 47?
46. That seems closer.
46.
Okay.
No, I'm at 47.
Okay.
And they possessed his land and the land of Og, king of Bashan, 2 kings of the Amorites, which were on this side Jordan toward the sunrise. From Aurora, which is by the bank of the river Arnon, even unto Mount Sion, which is Hermon. And all the plain on this side Jordan eastward, even unto the sea of the plain, under the springs of Pisgah.
So y'all, we have to be careful that we follow all of these rules exactly where he puts the markers at. Or you have a charlatan come on and they'll tell you, look, we need to be set up in Dimona. I ain't saw none of that. Have we seen any of this? The desert of Dimona.
No.
And you got a camp set up there with a fence around it?
On nuclear.
Where the priest land at? It's sitting on a nuclear wasteland.
Right.
That was a training facility when they was training out there. That they rehabbed and called it the kingdom of God. Just like Hulan Mitchell rehabbed them projects down in Florida, drove all the tenants out, rehabbed them projects and say this the kingdom of God. Some projects.
Right. And they were murdering Israelites that were living in them
They're
projects.
living in, they killed a couple residents that wouldn't move.
That wouldn't move out. Yeah, you can look the story up. It's online.
You looking up on what?
They got a
Hulan
documentary.
Mitchell, look at Brother Love. You can go get the book.
Matter of
Hey,
fact,
Hulan Mitchell, you done heard about him, ain't you?
Google it.
He had a that's why we can't be over exuberant about athletes. He had a football cardinal there, a top football cardinal, Robert Rozier, and had him as the hit man. He was the
chopping
one
off
cutting
ears.
off white folks' ears. This is a professional football player, so don't get over exuberant because they say, yeah, we got somebody down here, Kyrie. What the hell does that mean?
Right. He there. That tells the story.
man, they found bags of white people ears. and
Ears.
stuff.
That's what they had to bring back to Hulan Mitchell to prove it. Y'all all y'all do is Google the book Brother Love or go get it.
Man, that
They
dude,
got
they
pictures
were
all
commemorating
up
so
of
many
it.
murders
They got
down
one
there.
white man laying in his car like
In
that,
his
ear
car.
gone.
They killed him, stabbed him up, shot him, and chopped his ears off.
Killed 2 or 3 people, whooping grown men in front of their wives.
Yeah.
You don't run your house.
Wife don't want them no more.
Wish I-
Can you imagine that, getting a whooping? He summoned everybody's woman. You getting a sinner on the floor like this with your rear end hiked up in the air.
Man, not so.
And then they just whooping you, taking turns whooping you. As a man, where do you go from there?
Can't go home. You can't go home.
Ain't nobody walking nobody.
As soon as you don't do what she like, I'm gonna go get the men.
Now how you gonna come home and be the tender? Cause you tender all around the wrist. Hey y'all, we finished that, y'all. Let's get into this Jasher 71 chapter. And y'all, and this is why we're going here, because our case study is with Moses, who killed an Egyptian that the naysayers are trying to say, didn't he kill illegally? Your God gave him a pass? No, because the laws tell us about self-defense and delivering your brother. A man who will lay down his life for his brother, boy, that's great rewards, eh? And y'all, when we see somebody doing harm to somebody, you have to intervene. You can't just turn your head and say, that ain't my business. You see somebody trying to pull a child in a car, that ain't my business.
It's
You
finna
better
be your
jump out of
business.
there with a tire iron or something.
Thank you.
It's clapping.
Boy,
That's what you,
71 or
that's what women
77.
get
boy, 71.
I don't think that's the clapping they're talking about.
Right. No, you know, that may get his, let's go! Hey, but look, it may get his attention, Emo. Because if you clapping loud like that, it sound like thunder. He may think, it may scare him off, Emo.
He talking about something a little louder.
Let's get that, y'all. 71, and we'll start 71:1. Let's get it, y'all. Jasher, the book of Jasher, 71:1.
All right, family, reading in the book of Jasher, chapter 71, start the reading in verse 1. And when Moses was 18 years old,
Fresh out of high school.
he desired to see his father and mother. And he went to them to Goshen.
Where he go to them?
To Goshen.
Uh-huh.
And when Moses had come near Goshen, he came to the place where the children of Israel were engaged in work. And he observed their burdens. And he saw an Egyptian smiting one of his Hebrew brothers.
See, it defines who he saw doing the smiting. An Egyptian, one of his what?
Brother.
His Hebrew brethren. Go ahead.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
And when the man who was beaten saw Moses, he ran to him for help. For the man Moses was greatly respected in the house of Pharaoh.
Right.
And he said to him, my Lord, attend to me.
Now, this another Israelite, he's calling Moses, my Lord. Is he in error for this? No, he's only talking because Moses is dressed up like a high-ranking Egyptian. He's on the council, so Lord is only respect of honor. You know, but he ain't bowing down to him or nothing like that. See, every time where we see, you always see the words, and he worshipped him. You know, if you don't see that and you see him or calling him Lord and he bowed down and worshiped him, it's just a sign of respect. Like when you go to court, you say Your Honor. I ain't say no Your Honor. That I don't know shit. He ain't my honor. The Lord my honor. I say if you go to that court and you don't stand up when they tell you to, or they question you, and you don't say Your Honor, you got bail money. There ain't no bail money. The Lord will. Okay. Because it warns you to salute every house. The Messiah saluted the house of the Pharisee when he went to it. Say his first thing he did was salute the house. How everybody doing up in here? How y'all doing? You can't just go in and kick nobody doors off the hinges. I come in here to cause trouble. When he turned over the table and chairs, he said, "This is my father's house." That he did that. Ain't that what Solomon built it for? Yes. But he didn't do that in nobody else's house. Let's get some more.
And he said to him,
"Yeah,
my Lord, attend to me. This Egyptian came to my house in the night."
What this Egyptian do?
Came to my house in the night. Bound me.
Right.
And came to my wife in my presence.
Not in my presence.
In my presence. And now he seeks to take my life away.
Look, look, I done had your woman in front of you. If y'all been watching the Rockadoochies, the last episode, old Daikon had the FBI agent chained up, butt naked, and cut off 2 of his fingers. And his wife came up there nosy, and he brought her in the trailer, and to let her go, he handled the FBI's wife right in front of him. He chained up, finger cut off, and he just front. Look, but he got him facing. He right here, and I mean, he's doing things that I ain't gonna say no more. But he's doing those type of things, savage licks, and he just he trying to look there, but he's bound with chains. And this boy is handling his woman right in front of him.
Man, that's horrible.
Until the old lady came and said, "What you doing? It's obvious." What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? He ain't playing house.
Right.
Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 3.
Yeah.
And when Moses heard this wicked thing.
What did Moses hear?
This wicked thing. His anger was kindled against the Egyptian. And he turned this way and the other.
What'd he do?
He turned this way and the other.
Yeah.
And when he saw there was no man there, he smote the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. And delivered the Hebrew from the hand of him that smote him.
So is this murder, or is this self-defense, or is coming to the aid of your brother from a wicked deed? Does this count as murder? No, I say he slayed the Egyptian for what he was doing. Wait a minute, you gonna rape this man's wife in front of him?
Right.
And now you're chasing him? You finna kill him? So this is a wicked thing you doing. Moses like, no, I'm gonna do this, but he still understood he was in somebody else's kingdom. That's why he did like this both ways.
Right.
And then buried him in the sand. But we got problems.
There it is.
Because we got Israel
You're still a
around.
witness.
Let's get some more.
Verse 4.
Yeah.
And the Hebrew went to his house. And Moses returned to his home. And went forth and came back to the king's house. And when the man had returned home, he thought of repudiating his wife.
He gonna cuss his wife out and check her. Well, you didn't have to be looking that fine. He wouldn't have been interested into you. I told you to wear that moo-moo dress.
Or maybe she was in dress.
Yeah, look here. Hey, boy, go ahead.
Emo, you need a license?
No, you won't go with that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
For it was not the right in the house of Jacob for any man to come to his wife after she had been defiled.
See, and defiled, that's why David never went back into his 10 wives, because his son Absalom had defiled them. It says they lived as widows the rest of their life. You know, he took care of them still, but he never touched them again. Just like Jacob never touched Bilhah again after what Reuben did. Let's get some more. Where we at? Go ahead, man.
That's just like, in my generation, I call that being nasty when you come back after somebody else.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Being nasty.
Yeah.
You come back
It's still nasty.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, and that's why the only time. See, we have to understand marriage. When they talk about Malachi 2, it's about putting a wife away. Most men, when they put away, it's called a separation phase. If you're able to mend it and come back, divorce never happened. But when you put them away, it have to be. It's the flip side of like the engagement process before marriage. You court, and then you come together and have the marriage ceremony. This is the other side. You're trying to court it back before you go to the divorce court and cut it off. So what men were doing, they were just putting their wives away and they wasn't divorcing them. Just like you hear these crazy Negroes around here today talking about, I ain't gonna give you no divorce. You gonna be a whore in Israel, but they don't know the Messiah said, every time you do that, that adultery is yours because you won't cut her off. You won't cut her off. You need to cut her off. And how you gonna let her be messed so you can use it against her? And she still got your last name?
It's a witness against yourself.
It's a witness against yourself, so we have to understand those things, y'all. It's a witness against yourself, y'all. And this crazy talk out there, they don't turn them loose. So what happens if you come back together? That means there's no divorce. But if it can't come back together, then that's the next proceeding because technically they're in a legally divorced status. They're not yet, but they're in that range, so can't no man come in between her yet because it's going through that phase. The same way like in the engagement process. Can't nobody come in there while the engagement process is going on because it interrupts the marriage ceremony. So nobody could come in and interrupt before the divorce happens. You can't come in and say, well, she separated. That don't mean nothing. She's still married. So, y'all, we have to be careful about that, y'all. But we playing these games now. Well, she ain't with them no more. What does that mean? Right now, if she died, who they gonna call, you or him? And we done seen it time and time again. Me and divorced wife, she go live with somebody for 20 years. He been living for somebody for 20 years. He died. The wife, I should say the lady he been living with, guess what? She don't even get invited to the funeral. Nothing. Because they give her back her power and she decides, now he could have been, look, Mr. Cool Jew. I'm talking about dressed nice, but she ain't spending no money. Hell, she could be evil at this time. Dress him up in a green jumpsuit with bowling shoes on. Get a load of this. I ain't spending all that money. Shit, I don't care how you used to look in the club. I'm a 10-penny. Let's go ahead. What we at, bro? Go ahead.
We're at verse 6.
Yeah.
And the woman went and told her brother. And the woman's brother sought to slay him.
Right.
And he fled to his house and escaped.
See, so now she went and told him, she like, do you know this is rotten, no good, gonna let them tie me up, and tied him up first. He didn't fight to the death. And now he gonna say it's my fault. If you hadn't wore that low cut top, he wouldn't have did that. So it's my fault. So them brothers wasn't having it. What'd he say? Oh, we gonna deal with that. We'll deal with them. Just like Shechem. I mean, Levi and Simeon was gonna do Shechem now. Now you ain't gonna treat our sister like this. Go ahead. What else to say?
Verse 7.
Yeah.
And on the second day, Moses went forth to his brethren and saw, and behold, 2 men were quarreling. And he said to the wicked one, why dost thou smite thy neighbor? And he answered him and said to him, who has set thee for a prince and judge over us?
You hear that? These 2 Hebrews scrapping now. Go ahead.
Dost thou think to slay me as thou didst slay the Egyptians? And Moses was afraid, and he said, surely this thing is known.
So Moses say, my look that way and that way, I didn't look up that way.
Right.
Or I didn't look down that way where the Hebrews were standing right there. There's no good Hebrew. Just sitting in the thicket. Always that old in the trouble thicket Hebrew. Always around when something happened. You know, do dirty in them.
Yeah, probably the one he was saving.
The
one he was saving, telling everything.
Look here, so he asked me like, oh, you ready to do some more killing? Moses like, oh, this thing is known.
Right.
What else happened, bro?
Verse 9.
Yeah.
And Pharaoh heard of this affair, and he ordered Moses to be slain. So Yah sent his angel, And he appeared unto Pharaoh in the likeness of a captain of the guard. And the angel of the Most High took the sword from the hand of the captain of the guard, and took his head off with it. For the likeness of the captain of the guard was turned into the likeness of Moses.
So that's what the angel did. He just looked like that captain of the guard and put that image. Same thing, y'all. This ain't nothing new. It ain't no trickery. It ain't no witchcraft. The Messiah appeared as a gardener to Mary Magdalene. They didn't even know who he was when she was looking right at her. She said, they'll come taking my Lord, take him away. He said, it's me. Rabboni, that's you. So he appeared to look like the gardener. It ain't nothing new, y'all. Ain't nothing changing here to where you can say, right there, see, that's where the trouble is. Now he didn't look like somebody else. No, angels manifest.
Right.
And he wasn't looking right at him. He just had that look from an angle to where you think is that individual. And cut his head off. And cut it off. And just gave that image that this was Moses. So Pharaoh was satisfied. Exactly. Go ahead.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
And the angel of the Most High took hold of the right hand of Moses, and brought him forth from Egypt, and placed him from without the borders of Egypt, a distance of 40 days' journey.
See, got him outside of Egypt, outside of the trouble zone. Go ahead.
And Aaron his brother alone remained in the land of Egypt. And he prophesied to the children of Israel, saying, Thus says the Most High Yah of your ancestors, throw away each man the abominations of his eyes, and do not defile yourselves with the idols of Egypt. And the children of Israel rebelled, and would not hearken to Aaron at that time. And the Most High thought to destroy them, were it not that the Lord remembered the covenant which he had made with Abraham.
Who did he remember the covenant with?
Made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. In those days, the hand of Pharaoh continued to be severe against the children of Israel, and he crushed and oppressed them until the time when Yah sent forth his word and took notice of them.
So y'all get into the 79th chapter and you see when Moses finally come back. Moses was the king of Cush for a while. He was ruling some Hamites. They didn't have no king. They like, Moses, you be our king. He like, look, well, what y'all talking about? We just need a king over here. Like, with these the laws, statutes, and judgments, y'all got it. We don't care, we'll deal with them. And then he went to Jethro, a priest of the Midianites, descendants of Abraham and Keturah. So he went to him. Jethro was a priest, and he dwelt there for a while, but Jethro locked him up. He like, man, you look like you on the run. As y'all continue to read this, when y'all get down in the 79th chapter, you're going to see Zipporah's father, Jethro, or the king of Midian, he locked Moses up for 12 years and forgot about him. Yep. And then he said, I got this stick, the staff that he threw down. He said, that's in this garden. Can't nobody pull it out. Moses went and plucked it up. He's like, oh, that's him. That's the dude right there. Because he said, y'all God dwell up there. And he was pointing to Mount Sinai. Y'all God up there. So he knew, and he gave Moses good direction, like you said, Elijah, about dealing with the children of Israel. He said, hire some other men, you're going to wear yourself out. Because it said when Moses put his hands up like that, children of Israel went, but his arms started getting heavy. So he had to have two boys. He had to lean his hands on that so the battle would keep going. He's like, man, just put some captains in order. Have them do that work for you. You're going to be wore out. That was good advice. The next advice was, don't circumcise the boy yet. Gershom, let him stay here. That's my boy. I got him. And he listened to him. That's why the Lord sent an angel to kill Moses on the way in the end, because he didn't circumcise Gershom. He listened to his father-in-law. The Most High told him, he said, how you going to listen to him, and I'm sending you to go correct somebody, and you going in disobedience? How that's going to look on me? You know what I'm saying? Because the first thing Pharaoh said, you say what? Let who go? Did you circumcise that boy? It's the 8th day, ain't it? I just got word from my soothsayer. Did you circumcise? Get the hell out of it.
Yeah. But his wife was found more righteous than he.
Yes, sir.
Hold up, man.
Go ahead.
This time, we under Aaron or we under Melchizedek?
We under Aaron. We just come out of Egypt. Well, we're still in there right now. So we're under Melchizedek at this time until we come out. So the teaching was still Melchizedek till we come out in the wilderness. Mount Sinai, it switched. Just like when Moses went up there and the veil was put on him, it switched to Aaron. When he came down, he gave same laws, just a different priesthood. You got to take an animal and give it to this individual, and he go sacrifice for you. The laws are the same since Genesis 1:1. The laws are exactly the same. The only difference is you go through this intercessor now. But Melchizedek was already there trumping like fed. That's why David was able to eat the showbread. That's why Moses was able to marry Zipporah and gave the same law that you should not have mixed marriages. Well, when he wrote that, he married to Zipporah. So Melchizedek was trumping. And that's what they teaching, the trump card.
Like the feds.
Yeah. Like the feds. Absolutely, bro. So give me real quick, y'all. Did we finish that out, that chapter? Oh, so real quick, y'all. Genesis, we're going to get this in Genesis. Exodus 2:11-15. Y'all, and then we're gonna finish off, y'all, with some understanding in Hosea 11:1, because a lot of people say, see that scripture right there when they say, I called my son out of Egypt, he called Israel. Ain't no Messiah. Well, the only problem you got is Isaiah 53, because we got he and them that he was an intercessor for. How we gonna he and them ourselves? And how we full of transgression gonna fix the transgression of another sinner? Now hold on, bro. I'm gonna pray for you, all your wicked stuff, and then if I'm still alive, then you pray for me, and then our sins is forgiven just to you too.
Right.
What a priest, y'all! This is a priesthood issue. All we're asking everyone to do is according to the gospel of Christ. It's a priesthood. He's after the order of Melchizedek. Hebrews 7, Psalm 110. Those chapters the Messiah are operating from. Everybody, you ask, what priesthood you coming from? And I'm telling you, ain't nobody out there of these camps even talking priesthood. So the law can't be governed correctly because you don't have the right priest in place. They make themselves priests and you go to them. Moses ain't never made himself a priest. Right. A high priest, I should say. Right. Because that was Aaron's line. Right. Y'all, and this is where the trouble at is the priesthood. I don't care. People been in this word 30, 40 years. Just ask them, what's the order of Melchizedek?
Ain't that crazy?
They would ask you, oh, yeah, man, I heard about him. He showed up. Is that the dude that came when Abraham was? Is that the dude? Is that that dude? Man, that's that dude, man. But don't know there was a Melchizedek virgin birth with Noah's brother. His wife, 80 plus years old, had a baby. When Noah's brother Ner came home, he said, what the hell is you doing pregnant? She like, I don't know. He like, you a lie? You know? It ain't just happened. But she died at birth and the baby was born talking. Yes. And the first thing they said, oh, it's the Melchizedek. And they went and got the priest's clothes. So the order of Melchizedek had to be in the land because they went and got the garment and put it on the baby. And the baby said, when they saw him, and said he had the badge of Melchizedek in his chest, they could like, that's the deliverer. But the Lord told him, take the baby, hide him, and say, until the final Melchizedek comes. So when y'all read that, you're going to see what the final Melchizedek comes. The one that everybody has to listen to, because all of Melchizedek up to Adam. Adam gave it to to Seth. Seth gave it all the way down to Shem. Okay. Shem gave it to Abraham. Abraham gave it to Isaac, gave it to Jacob. Jacob gave it to his 12 sons of priests, but no Melchizedek in the area until Shem came to bring the bread. Then here come Christ.
Run it down.
And running bread and wine. The final Melchizedek is here, the high priest. The order to take on the order, but he's got a mother and a father, right? So who he's taking orders from? Just like Hebrews 7, the one that says there's no mother or father or no descent can be found. Can anybody find the father's lineage? He was an Israelite from what tribe? Right. The father?
He had to be one.
He had to be one. Under what? That's when Israel has become a doctrine to people versus the gospel of Christ. Now we chasing who we are in our most wicked state. You think the nation's proud to see this? Let's get some more. Where we at? Exodus 2:11-15, y'all. Let's get that real quick. We're going to close out with Hosea 11. We got a couple verses in 12 and 13 because it's a continual passage to clear up them non-messianics to say Israel was his people. We're tied off with Isaiah 53. Y'all will get on out of here.
All right, we're reading in the book of Exodus, chapter 2. We're going to start the reading in verse 11.
And this backs up the Jasher 71 we just read. One goes into detail, and because Genesis is leaping hundreds of years, thousands of years when Moses wrote it. Go ahead.
It reads, "And it came to pass in those days, when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren."
See, we saw that in Joshua 21, say when Moses 18, he grown. Go ahead.
"And looked on their burdens, and he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren."
One of his what?
One of his brethren.
Uh-huh.
"And he looked this way and that way, and when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand.
Right.
And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said to him that did the wrong, Wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? And he said, Who made thee a prince and a judge over us?
Y'all see how the stories is lining up word for word in both books? Yeah. Go ahead.
Intendest thou to kill me as thou killest the Egyptian? And Moses feared and said, Damn, I gotta go.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
He said, Surely this thing is known.
Yeah.
Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian. And he sat down by a well.
And see, y'all get the rest of that. Y'all see the story of Jethro when he met Zipporah, you know, and then this was when he was outside of there. This was before Mount Sinai, and he went into a marriage covenant. Y'all see, marriage is universal. It don't matter where you get married on planet Earth, the Most High recognizes it. Because look, Jacob got married in Laban's country. It wasn't in Israel. And then when they were saying, Hela, 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 he was singing. He was like, I thought they was just singing. I was just like, see, when the lights going out. That's what I'm waiting on. I've been working 7 years for this day. When the lights going out, he said, I just thought it was their custom. Right. But the marriage ceremony is legal. Just like you can go to Vegas and get married. That's legal in any states. Marriage is legal around the world. It don't matter where you're at. Every nation recognizes marriage, legal marriage. Not that hoboism. Not them books written by numbskulls that try to say we're going to counsel you on numbskullism. When you are writing a book about when the script say if a man take another wife versus you must and you're commanded to have another one or you a simp book. Do that make a difference? What we got up there too about?
Oh no, somebody was asking what chapter was that you was talking about when you was talking about that baby started talking right from birth.
They want that. Look, just tell them real quick. Google second book of Enoch, Noah's brother Ner. It'll lead you right to it, but I'll get it for you. Tell them to keep on going. Let's keep going, y'all. We're going. I'm gonna get that for you right here.
You know, infancy, books of infancy.
Christ
speaking out of the womb, speaking when he was born.
When he was born too. But what they want to do is the Melchizedek part to let you know how long this priesthood been in the earth. But I'll get it for you. I believe it's the 102nd Enoch, 106th chapter. I'll get it for him real quick. Go ahead, keep reading.
Where you want to go?
We're going to real quick, y'all. Hosea 11:1, y'all. We're going to finish this out. I'm going to hit 11:1 because a lot of non-messianics go to this to say Israel was the nation that was called out of Egypt. That's true. But there was one that would come out of that seed, out of the seed of Israel, that led them through the wilderness. That's the part that's what they ain't missing. This is a dual prophecy. It's not just for that one line, because we're going to get into chapter 12, just a few verses, and 13, because it's a continual of Hosea 11:1. You just can't stop there. You have to keep reading this continual story about Ephraim and them 10 southern tribes or whatever it was, the northern tribe. So we have to keep reading to get the full understanding. You're going to see the Messiah. This is a dual prophecy, just like Rachel weeping for her children. Right. It says she wept for her children when Moses was put in a basket and all the Israelite children was killed by Pharaoh. When they couldn't find him, couldn't find Moses. Rachel died before they got to Egypt. She died on the way to Egypt. They set up her grave marker at Bethlehem on that route through there. They stopped and buried her. She never got there, so she never saw the children being put to death. So how are you using it? And then they said about, like you say, Elijah 2:15. It said Rachel weeping for her children again when they slaughtered all the children looking for the Messiah. He had to burn out like Moses. Don't y'all see how this thing is lining up exactly like how they said it's going to be in like name? Moses had 8 names when you get into Jasher 68. His brother and them called him Shemaiah. All Israel called him Shemaiah. Aaron called him Jerry. His sister had another name for him. His mother and daddy called him another. Moses had 8 names. The Messiah had 8 names. The mighty Redeemer. The King of Kings. Yes, the Lord of Lords. Yes. So they're matching up exactly perfect. But one say I'm state and one say watch for the Fed. He coming. Right. He gonna rule all things. So they're dual prophecy. Just like Deuteronomy 28 is a dual prophecy. If it's not, then it has to stop at the Babylonian captivity. You can't take it back to us. 400 years later, you know what I'm saying, Elisha? Right. If you only look at it as that one prophecy, then Babylon for 70 years showed up before America for 400. Right. Still Moses talking about the same thing. How you know which one he's talking about? He's talking about it in the wilderness, Deuteronomy 28. If y'all don't do this, you're going to go into captivity again by ships. A lot of naysayers and these so-called white Jews, that's the first thing they're going to try to pound you out. Was Moses talking about the 70-year captivity, or was it a dual prophecy? It has to be dual because Joel 3 tells us you serve the Egyptian, you serve the Assyrian, you serve the Grecian. So we know it was dual prophecy for one event, but it's going to happen multiple times. But we ain't going to rewrite the story. It's going to go for the same when you go into captivity. The same rules apply. Where we at? Hosea 1:11.
Hosea 11:1.
Yeah. Y'all, we just gonna read these last two. Y'all, we're gonna get on out of there. Huh?
Hebrews 11:1, right?
No, Hosea. Yeah.
I went to Hebrews looking at your book.
And the only reason I'm going through this, y'all, is because we're doing the things of Messiah being called out of Egypt, his son. And another message, I need to tie this in because we're talking about the strangers and different things, and we're talking about fleeing and different things. So we have to make sure that the Messiah has been with us all the time, y'all. That's why, you going, Jeremiah? No. Okay. So that's why he's saying be careful because he walks amongst us. Yeah. The spirit of Messiah just come in this room, y'all. We can't have no wickedness.
Right.
Can't have nobody done doodled on the floor and ain't buried it.
No, sir.
Where we at?
Hosea,
let's get it. Yeah.
Hosea chapter 11, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
When Israel was a child.
When Israel was a what?
Was a child.
Uh-huh.
Then I loved him.
Uh-huh.
And called my son out of Egypt.
So this is a dual prophecy. Yes, when Israel was a child, but those was grown men coming out of Egypt, wasn't it?
Yeah.
With children, right?
Yeah.
So how do you decide on which one comes this applies to if you just said Israel is his child? I say when he was a child. So the only thing you can mean is when he was without knowledge of who we were as a people.
A baby.
Go ahead.
As they called them, so they went from them. They sacrificed unto Balaam.
What they do?
They sacrificed unto Balaam.
So y'all, what we're going to do, we're going to hold it. Y'all read all that because this is the script they use to say there's no Messiah. But the problem is they don't keep reading. They cherry pickers. So y'all, we're going to pick it up. I want y'all to read all the 12 and all the 13, but we're only going to hit a portion in 12 and 13 so you can see the dual prophecy and you can see the Messiah and they're correcting them. This son, we don't have to worry about correcting him. He's already corrected. And y'all will finish up with Isaiah 53. But I just need y'all to see that because they're going to one-line you. 11:1, what it say? Israel. He called them out of there. Well, there was grown men in Israel. So explain that part for me first before you move on.
Now see, you just tripped.
See, yeah. So it sounds like Israel was delivered out of Egypt and everybody was babies crying. When you was a child. Where we at? Get that, y'all real quick. 12 through 14. Y'all read all of 12 of Hosea. We just gonna hit verse chapter 12, verse 12 through 14 to pinpoint what we're talking about. And then we'll hit 13, 4 through 10, and we'll close out with Isaiah, y'all.
Hosea chapter 12, verse 12.
And yo, he's in the volume of the book, y'all. That's what non-messianics ain't understanding. They'll try to use some volume in the New Testament when they think they got you. You stop them right in their track. What the hell is you doing in New Testament? Then you say he just don't exist, like that Sakari dude. I'll say, well, the Messiah never really existed, but I have to say in Matthew 4:4, he did withstand the devil. Wait a minute, are you talking about the same one that don't exist?
Right.
How you gonna explain that to me then? And how is somebody gonna sit there and let you explain it to them?
Right.
It's like somebody saying, man, I don't believe in no devil, and then tell the truth. Stop that before the devil gonna get you.
Thought you didn't believe in the devil.
Right. Go ahead, bro.
Hosea chapter 12. Hosea chapter 12, verse 12.
Yeah.
And Jacob fled into the country of Syria, and Israel served for a wife. And for a wife he kept sheep.
So y'all
kept sheep.
So what we're talking about here is when it say Jacob had to serve, and all of this is tying into getting out of Egypt. This is when he served Laban for tricking Isaac. So he served as a wife, and basically he was subject to Laban, you know, and he for sheep because he raised cattle for him.
Right.
Laban got rich off of that.
Right.
So when it say he served as a wife, he was just like under his father's command. You had to listen to him. It was under his possession. That means serving as a wife, like we serve as a wife to Christ.
That's right.
Go ahead, what else to say?
And by prophet the Lord brought Israel out of Egypt. And by a prophet was he preserved. Ephraim provoked him to anger most bitterly. Therefore shall he leave his blood upon him, and his reproach shall his Lord return unto him.
That's verse 14?
Yeah.
So let's get right into chapter 13, verse 4 through 10. We'll close out with 53. And y'all, the reason why we want to do that, that's the Messiah in that mix, the 12, why you can't say it, they still in trouble. Even after I called them out of Egypt, they still won't stop their bad behavior. And when you get into all of 11, you get into all of 12, you're going to see them northern tribes, them southern tribes, or whoever they was out of control with Baal worship.
Yes, sir.
Saying the Lord's name knew it, but the paperwork, the instructions they was getting was from the devil. This is why, y'all, we have to be careful, can't get caught up in the holy name rollers, that if you don't say the Messiah's name like this, you don't have the Lord. That's a crock of bull. Right. Say his name, and then let us watch what you're going to do after that. Because if you say his name and you go rob a bank, you ain't fooling us. Right. You just know the name. And you don't know the pure name, because he said, I'm going to tell you what my real name is, so you won't defile it.
Right.
If we had his real name right now, Elijah, it'd be at the pawn shop. It'd be at the pawn shop.
That's why he said, no man knoweth the name that he...
Look here, Elijah, we be trying to sell a pawn ticket. Hey, man, look, you go down there and get the name of the Lord, dog. I just need 10 more than the ticket got on it.
No, we got the name that we need to know, and that's the law.
And that's the law, statutes, and judgment. That's the name we need to know now. And then he gives you a name when you keep it, like he changed Abraham's name.
Right. He said all of us will have a new name if we make it to the kingdom.
Yeah.
And then we would know his true name.
And see his face. That's why we can't make
no
no image.
Will we know his real true name?
Right. Absolutely.
You ain't gonna be able to know his name
in this wickedness.
And then utter that righteousness in sinful flesh, it don't equate.
I put that on my mama.
Righteousness cannot dwell together in unrighteousness.
Yeah.
The righteousness of discipline of fleece, deceit.
Let's get it, y'all. Where we at, Hosea?
Hosea chapter 13, verse 4.
Yes, sir.
Yet I am the Most High, thy Elohim from the land of Egypt. And thou shalt know no God but me.
See how he keeps saying the God of Egypt? He wants us to know where our punishment was, where he had to truly deliver us as a people. He keeps saying, he keeps taking us back to that, just like in Deuteronomy 7, Deuteronomy, what is it, 23, where he said, don't abhor an Edomite or an Egyptian because you was a bondage in their land. So he wants that to stay on our mind, both of those two situations, so we remember what it was like to grind for 0 cents an hour. Like we was talking about the Mexican, yeah, they work hard. Yeah, they'll sell fruit out there, but $10 an hour to them is like $100 an hour where they come from.
Right.
But let's see how hard they work for 0 cents an hour and see if your language will be the same about how hard they work. They getting paid. We didn't get a quarter. We didn't get a nickel. We didn't get a penny.
And not only that, you were still murdered under those same conditions.
Absolutely. And then you did 400 to compare it to them just till they get to green card status. They selling oranges. It ain't like no disrespect, but what we're talking about is when you're saying who is the hard worker or who's lazy people. You work for free. They can't call that lazy, can they?
No.
They can't.
The Irish worked here and complained that they were in slavery here. The Chinese worked here. Everybody got paid except us. They paid the Chinese. They paid, look, they had to pay to Mexico. They took all their land.
Right.
They took San Antonio. They took Texas. They took San Francisco. Everywhere it say sand belonged to Mexican. And they took it from them. Took that too. Mister, took that too. Remember the Alamo, took that too. So what we're talking about is people that now coming back what's rightfully theirs. But they're working, but to say, okay, they work harder than you, unless 0 cents an hour is on the table for both parties, how do you measure that? I'm talking about no shoes for years. I'm talking about you start off at 5 and you got them same pants on at 15.
Whoa. And then,
so they coming up your leg, ain't they? Right. So now you got on high waters or you got to pull your shoes up. But go ahead, bro. What we
them shoes
Go ahead, where we at, bro? Let's get this, y'all. Anybody have anything else before we keep going?
Verse 5. I did know thee in the wilderness, in the land of great drought, according to their pasture. So were they filled. They were filled, and their heart was exalted. Therefore have they forgotten me.
What have they done?
Forgotten me. Therefore I will be unto them as a lion, as a leopard by the way will I observe them. I will meet them as a bear that is bereaved of her whelp. And I will rend the call of their heart, and there will I devour them like a lion. The wild beasts shall tear them. O Israel, thou hast destroyed thyself.
What hast thou done?
Destroyed thyself. But in me is thine help. I will be thy king.
I will be thy what?
King. Where is any other that may save thee in all thy cities? And thy judges of whom thou saidest, give me a king and prince.
See, so he letting them know, look, within that Hosea, it's a dual prophecy. It's still talking about the Messiah. He's got called out of Egypt because he was there as well. He was there at the burning bush with Moses. So once you look at it for the nation, you know the nation only has a responsibility of being the tribe, so to speak, or the 12 tribes. But you got their power there with him because he said, I never leave you alone. I was with y'all in Egypt. So, and then when we get over here to the Messiah, being born real quick, 2:15 of Matthew, just that one verse.
Yeah.
Now you understand it as dual prophecy.
Yeah.
It was meant to be reoccurred every time this event happened to us as a people because it had to go through generations.
That's right.
Look, when he say generation, all of us had to experience Deuteronomy 28. I don't care what state. It don't matter because Michael Jordan is a 2 billionaire. He still don't get to do the same things, and he hear the jokes like Eddie Murphy heard in Trading Places when he was hiding in the bathroom smoking a joint. And they bet $1 on it. And he said, you gonna let him run out? You know I wouldn't let a nigga run our business. And he in there like this, damn, I thought I had it going. I got a butler, I'm living large, and they still consider me that. What you got, bro?
Remember
years ago, they showed Oprah when she was across the sea.
Over there at the fashion store, they locked the door on a billionaire. You can't afford nothing here. This Oprah. Oprah saying, I can buy y'all and start a chain of y'all.
Okay, well, go do it and then we'll let you in.
Nigga. I'm talking about it ain't like they didn't know who she was because she coming with security and paparazzi probably was out there. They don't care nothing about no Oprah. Hell, she crazy anyway because she spelled her name wrong. It ain't spelled like that in the Bible. It was supposed to be Orpah. That's in the Bible. O-R-P-A. But she said her parents misspelled it.
No, they did it right.
Yeah.
They did it right. She ain't no Christ believer.
Right.
They did it just right.
So y'all, we have to understand it don't matter. Money ain't gonna take us out of Deuteronomy 28. Only thing gonna take you out of wickedness is obedience. Where we at real quick, y'all? Get that real quick. Matthew 2:15. Then we're gonna just hit Isaiah 53. We close out.
Matthew chapter 2, verse 15.
What it say?
And was there unto the death of Herod,
that
it might be fulfilled which was spoken of by the Lord by the prophet, saying, out of Egypt have I called my son.
See, so Christ is still out of Israel, ain't he? And he's a son of Israel born out of Judah. So it's a dual prophecy. It don't just stay with one group. If it had to stay with the Hosea one group, the Ephraimites and all of them, well, we'd be in trouble because they went deep into Baal worship. So you got called out of Egypt into more detrimental worship of the devil than you was doing when you was in Egypt. But the king said, I'm with y'all. Any of y'all want to cut this loose from these tribes over here? Come on, because you can't save yourself. How you going to have somebody in more deeper wickedness than you chastising you? Right. He up to his kneecaps in wickedness and he talking about what you doing. Well, yeah. But they have to pay y'all because the law is what it is. Real quick, y'all, did we finish that? Y'all read all that Matthew. Y'all can read that Matthew 2, 1 through 15. But we won't just get Isaiah 53. We'll close out, y'all. And we'll see this blood of the king. And we'll see how you have these non-messianic try to struggle with Isaiah 53 and say it's the nation. We're going to deliver ourselves from what form, shape we in right now.
We're marching down the street.
Yeah, look here.
We shall overcome.
Right, and singing. Right. We are the Hebrews, mighty, mighty Hebrews.
They're finna go out and play a
Throw a pack of Black Cat firecrackers.
Boy, them cats have been running.
Boy, look here. We are descendants of Usain Bolt, because that's how fast we running. And them Black Cats fire off. But you ain't no army out there and you ain't got no weapons. Woo. One thing, you had the scripture tied to your chest and open and reading down that street, hollering words at the door, the entryway to the arena, standing in front of the ticket counter, just screaming words, even if you didn't have no pistol, blocking the highway and reading. You marching and singing.
But you ain't representing Christ. Yeah. Christ sends you out there 2, 3 at the most.
Yeah, you got a gang out there.
Gang. Their permits did not allow them to impede the flow of traffic.
Ah, see what it is. Look. How many going to face the Antichrist, the most wicked individual that gonna ever hit the planet?
2.
How many face Pharaoh?
2.
The most powerful man on planet Earth at the time. Right. And you think we need a gang dressed up in colors?
Marching like the military, but ain't ready to fight. Ain't got a damn weapon.
Oh! Stop. It's embarrassing, y'all. And I'm telling you how embarrassing it is. Then we're going to move on with this last thing. When I joined the military in 1980, went to the Air Force, San Antonio, Texas. I said, I'm going to go down there and show them how we dress in the HCL. I had on them burgundy leading man. That burgundy Nick shirt with them burgundy Florshems. Everybody else, all these white boys different from different other countries, they in there in ratty tore up jeans, old tore off t-shirt, and I'm standing there.
Looking like a pretty boy.
Yeah, yeah. And here come this little T.I. look like Barney Fife on steroids.
He zeroed right in on you.
Right on me. He was, and look, wasn't even supposed, he was from some the other squad. He came over there looking me up and down. Where you think you going, boy? To a disco? Boy, I didn't want to see them clothes no more. I'm like, damn, and then it looked like a plane just flew right over here in the St. Louis. Shame me in my best outfit. Boy, you see me in regal room poses and that. And he just shamed it like that, boy. He said, boy, you ain't over here to do no clubbing. You finna go to war. Isaiah 53, y'all.
Whole chapter.
Yeah. We just want to get down to him transgressing, maybe left.
Okay. Isaiah chapter 53, verse 1. Who hath believed our report? And to whom is the arm of the Most High revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant.
Right.
And as a root out of dry ground. He have no form, no comeliness. And when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him.
Now, is this Israel talking about Israel? If you even put it there, it's still talking about a separate individual within the group. You still have to acknowledge that.
Right.
He should grow up as a root out of dry ground. Meaning when the Messiah came, when he said, who do men say I am? It was dry ground, y'all. Wasn't no word coming from the root, from the beginning. There was Phariseeism, starting in the middle of the book, making up commandments of men. It was dry ground. And there was no form of coming. Right there say the Messiah was ugly. That ain't never said he was ugly. That said he wasn't built like as tall as Karl Malone, 6'9" and 255 pounds, ripped. You know, looking like Billy D and what's the boy named Denzel Washington combined. Thrown in with a little Rick Fox. No, it wasn't no form of comeliness that you would be lusting after him because of how he looked. He didn't look like Absalom. He was a plain individual like some of us in here plain men.
He looked like you and them lead men.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A handsome man. Not a comely man, but, you know, yes, sir. He wasn't like that. He didn't come like that. Oh, and I had money flashing like I was splurging about $11 or $12 fanned out.
$11 or $12.
Yeah, come on, boy.
Well, $11, $12 could buy something back then.
Yeah. I said back then.
Let's get it, y'all. Go ahead.
Like $100 bill, didn't
Boy, look here. It looked like 100. Looked like I had big money.
Boy.
But look, y'all can see how much safer it was then that we just didn't get jacked like that.
Right.
You know, to show the loot chain, or they just knew that ain't no real money.
Right.
Shit, he out here with light bill money. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 3.
Yeah.
He is despised and rejected of men. A man of sorrow.
Right.
And acquainted with grief. And we hid as it were our own faces from him. He was despised and we esteemed him not.
He and we. How is it talking about the same nation of people and we got he and we unless somebody ain't took no English course?
No.
Somebody don't know pronouns and compounds and adjectives and verbs and Go ahead, what else it say?
Surely he
pronouns,
Surely he hath borne our grief.
What has he borne?
Our grief. And carried our sorrow. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of Yah, and afflicted.
Now, how is that going? Hosea 11:1 is talking about this when they got into more wickedness. How you gonna bear the sins of many and you deep into Balaam? We was into so much idol worship, y'all. It was beyond belief how much idol worship. That's why we got kicked out of the land. You think these Edomites doing something over in that land now? They can't compare to what we was doing. Because we was the people with the law, and we went worse than anybody. This is child's play what they doing in the land compared to who the light bearers were.
Right, because he said it'd be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah than it will be for us.
Right.
Let's get some more.
Verse 5. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. And with his stripes we are healed.
So what tribe you talking about? If it ain't no Messiah, or who else are you talking about took the heat for us? Moses didn't take the heat for us because when he tried, the Lord say, you can't do that. Every tub sit on his own bottle. And you're not the intercessor. Remember, I told you that already once. You can't die for them. Every man got to do. You better worry about yourself, Moses.
Yeah.
Now take him this law. Again, I'm going to write you a new set. Go ahead. What else it say?
Verse 6.
Yeah.
All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way. And the Most High has laid on him the iniquity of us all.
If it ain't no Messiah, who did the Most High lay the iniquity of us all on?
But he says we have all gone astray.
We have all gone astray. He had to lay the iniquity on him at the renting of the veil. When the veil rent and he was crucified, it was over. We're under Melchizedek order now. He's the high priest. That's who he put his. This is prophecy. This one prophesying about a rogue group of Israelites. Y'all, we out of control.
Yes, sir.
And who we gonna save ourselves? How they gonna save Kyrie and they just marching around singing songs? What was he supposed to do? Get in line? And then he just make a right turn and turn into the stadium and go back play basketball.
But he wasn't even defending them on.
He didn't even know they was out there. He like, shit, that ain't with me. But they needed to put them with him, so they orchestrated to go out there. Needed to tie him with the black Hebrew Israelite, the Hebrew Christianity. That's what we want to tie him to. We're not going to tie him to the believers in the virgin birth or the Melchizedek. We can't tie him to that because that'll just explain truth. Right. What he's doing is a show, clout chasing.
Yeah, because he kept saying, "Hey, I ain't worried about that. I'm concerned about the game."
The game. I don't know who them is out there. Is that Kappa Alpha Sappa? Because they wear the same colors.
No, that wouldn't be Kappa Alpha Sappa.
What is that?
Sappa Alpha Kappa.
Look here, and y'all look, and I don't know the name of none of them, don't care, cause I do a little DJing on the side, and they have separate jams that they do their little dance on. I was at the Red and White, whoever that is, and I played Atomic Dog. Boy, you talking about?
They was ready
to
persecute you.
They stopped on the dance floor. They was doing their move. They like, what the hell is that?
That's the wrong song.
I'm like, what's going on?
You about to get bum rushed.
But look, they track was the Freaks of the Industry by Digital Underground.
Yep.
That was their track. So I scrambled and got it on. I said, I was just testing y'all. They like, look,
They
shit,
was
boy, they
finna
was like
test
this with Jess. But shit, I wasn't paying no attention to that. The hell y'all talking about what is this, some kind of academic gang?
Right.
Y'all dripping in blood and y'all scholar students, what the hell is going on? I see a bunch of 3.5 and 4-point grade averages, and y'all up here finna war? Y'all threatening to kill me?
Yeah.
Play Atomic Dog again.
Right?
They said they ain't dogs, they freaks.
Well,
right.
yeah, right? That's something, boy.
Right.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Hey, let's get some more, y'all.
Verse, where I'm at? 8?
Yeah.
No, I didn't finish 7.
Okay.
He was oppressed, he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as sheep before her shearers is dumb, so he opened not his mouth.
See, he didn't say nothing to Pilate. Man, look, you ain't gonna say nothing. I can release you. He just like, man, whatever. I was born to do this.
Right.
You sure you don't want me to handle, cause I'm in charge around here. He say, man, I can call a legion of angels and settle all of this right now. But I must die. I must bear the iniquity of my people. The Pharisees ain't bearing that iniquity. Them Negroes in the bed with them. They actually gave Judas the 30 pieces of silver to sell him out. Caiaphas and them.
Yeah, they did.
What else we got? Let's get some more.
And remember, it was a lot of disciples that fled.
Yeah.
At the garden. That burned out when they saw the Roman army come.
Boy, look here, hightailing it. I'm talking about bruised chest plates, knees was so high running, just hitting like this, getting out of there.
You read that in John chapter 6, I believe.
Where we at, bro? Go ahead.
Verse 8.
Yeah.
He was taken from prison and from judgment.
Uh-huh.
And who shall declare his generation?
Uh-huh.
For he was cut off out of the land of the living. For the transgression of my people was he stricken.
See how we still have he, my, we, my. How can you say this is about the nation? Because you hate to say there's a Messiah, there's an intercessor. Hell, even if you said this, you will at least still have to say it was Moses. But they can't say it was Moses because of what happened to him in the wilderness. Moses died in the wilderness. So did Aaron.
And didn't get to see the promise.
Didn't get to see the promised land.
He saw it, but he couldn't go into it.
And he wasn't taking on no transgression. Nah, it was his transgression. He said, Moses and Aaron, because of what y'all said at the waters of strife, y'all sanctified y'allself with me. Y'all ain't part of what we call the Godhead, Elohim. And when I mean Godhead, I mean the three that bear record in heaven, 1 John 5 and 7. I'm talking about the three that think as one, but they're separate individuals. Not splitting themselves in half like the Trinity.
Yeah.
Every word in the Bible is pure. Just because the nations use Godhead as part of the Trinity in Christianity back there, it has nothing to do with the version of it in the Bible. When it says Godhead, just like Easter in here has nothing to do with the goddess Astoria, do it? Nope. Because it say those was the days of unleavened bread.
Right. Let's go.
This ain't got nothing to do with bunny rabbits and eggs, Easter. It means Pascal.
That's right.
Let's get some more. Where we at? We're going to close out.
Verse 9.
Yeah.
And he made his grave with the wicked.
Right.
And with the rich in his death.
Because he was up there with two thieves, and Joseph of Arimathea, you know what I'm saying right there, was a rich man and gave him his grave. He gave to Christ. You said, no, you wouldn't there. But gave Christ his grave that never man had been lain in.
That's right. Untouched.
Let's get some more.
Because he had done no violence.
What has he done?
No violence.
How in the hell you gonna read Hosea 11 and 1 all the way down and say wasn't no violence there by the children of Israel and then say they're the intercessor?
Right.
This was talking about them. I called my son out of. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Elijah. They crazy. Go ahead.
Neither was any deceit in his mouth.
Uh-oh. No deceit in his mouth. Y'all know what that deceit is? It means you ain't never said a false word. You ain't never had to trick nobody. You ain't never told a white lie. It is what it is. Nathaniel was like that. When the Messiah saw him, he said, an Israelite indeed, and no guile in his mouth. Y'all, when you don't have no guile, you're a straight shooter. You don't cause no harm nobody. You just say it is what it is. You know, somebody asks you, they creeping around, man. If anybody call you, you know, tell them I was with you. And you say,
Don't do it.
what do you want me to tell them if they call? Just tell them, I say, that's what I'm going to tell them. Exactly what you telling me. You seen Junior?
He told me
to tell you he was over here. Look, or you got to find somebody else.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm going to be the victim.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the one setting up your rendezvous.
Right.
He told me to tell you he going to be over here. Is he over there? I ain't seen him.
And then you're going to be the one hated.
Yeah. Right.
Then you become the enemy.
Right.
Fear collective call.
Yeah. Right.
My mama said.
No. Shit, ain't like nobody don't know. Hell, in the project, we just have more respect. A man just wouldn't have his family in the same neighborhood that close.
Right.
It would at least be 3-4 lanes over.
Yeah.
Because she knew as soon as Earl broke his arm. Go round to the Maylene house and tell your daddy Earl done broke his arm. Miss Maylene, is my daddy in here? Earl broke his arm. He come out putting up his suspenders. What? What done happened to Earl? Let's get some more, y'all. Let's finish this off.
That's what they think this talk about.
Verse 10.
Yeah.
Yet it pleased the Most High to bruise him.
What it pleased him to do?
Bruise him.
Uh-huh.
He hath put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin.
What did he make an offering for?
His soul for an offering for sin.
Now, what Israelite on this planet that we can say was put in that position? The only one that even could come close was Hezekiah, and he had to beg for more time on this earth, and the Lord granted him 15 years, or Solomon. Who else you got? You got Joshua? You want to say that? No, Joshua, we got his death stone. So y'all, this is what we're talking about. They're going to keep trying to put people in the place, but you ain't going to have nobody. Because of he, we, our, stricken for us. Who you going to get when you're saying it's the whole nation? You still have to get an individual out of it to fulfill these.
Right.
Or you kicking against the pricks.
right.
Let's read some more.
He shall see his seed. He shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Most High shall prosper in his hand. He shall see of the travail of his soul, and shall be satisfied. By his knowledge.
By his what?
By his knowledge. Shall my righteous servant justify many.
See, my righteous servant, Israel, is a whore, the script say. Go chasing any God. And you think the Father just done flip this around and say, okay, y'all in good shape and we still got to pass under the rod? In this kingdom now? Let's get some more.
For he shall bear their iniquity.
What shall he do?
Bear their iniquity.
Zeb, you got my iniquities for tonight.
I ain't gonna be able to do it, bro.
So it ain't you. Lysha?
Oh, hell no.
I ain't gonna be able to do it, bro.
What about you, Ariel? Pick somebody out.
You ain't gonna want to bear mine.
Pick somebody out. John, you got us?
Zeb got the toe, dog.
I ain't got enough for him.
Let's get some more, y'all. Let's finish this out and close out.
Therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he hath poured out his soul unto death, and he was numbered with the transgressors.
Who was he numbered with?
The transgressors.
All three of them on the cross. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead.
And he bare the sin of many, and made intercession for the transgressors.
We can't do that for ourselves, and we full of it. We need an intercessor, y'all. Free of sin, born of a virgin, not through a roll in the hay on an accident. Do you know Joseph and Mary would have still had to go before the priest to justify what they did? And they say, well, okay, you just had it. We didn't have a ceremony. So you plan on having a ceremony. That still violates the law. That makes him a blemished lamb.
They went to the...
they went to the priest.
They had to go to the priest. And they had to drink the water of God.
Now, why would Joseph go to court like that and he'd already been told? If he knows, only thing he had to say, no, y'all, that's my baby. I just tripped, y'all. I just couldn't wait. That tender was it just blew my mind. Look at her.
But if you read the book of Infancy, you see that Mary was vowed to be a virgin for her whole life.
Yes, sir.
Even after Christ was born.
Yeah.
So even after Christ was born, she went back to being a virgin.
Yeah.
A chaste virgin. She never gave birth. She never knew a man.
Had one child.
One child. One child, and that child was Christ only. And she went back to being a virgin.
And you understand, Joseph was 70 years old at the time. That's why they chose him, because lust was out of his system.
Was far beyond him.
Boy, they got a youngster and seen that tender like that. Yeah, boy, look her.
He already had children.
He had 3 children. Boy, look here, y'all. So we got any questions or concerns too, but I hope that answered a lot of questions along the line of killing, y'all. We tried to go through some information to let you know, and that's why we finished with Isaiah 53 to let you know, y'all, that safe haven, that city of refuge is Christ. Y'all, if we want to stay out, if we have to slay Satan and his demons, we have to get to a safety zone, so to speak. It's got to be in Messiah, y'all.
And
He's going to protect us. And he has to be absolutely like it. And then when he tell us don't move, we can't move the safe zone. Why in the hell would we leave America if you say it's got to go down just like Egypt, and America you're saying is Egypt, and then you say run and hide? All the plagues hit Egypt while we was there. Didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And didn't touch it.
We left after the plagues. So I gotta tell us, stay where you at. I'm coming and get y'all. That's what we supposed to do, ain't we, Lysa?
Then what's the purpose of Psalm 91? Wow. It has no purpose and no effect. What's the purpose of Sirach chapter 2? It serves no purpose then.
Only way I'm gonna go against that is I'm in Judea. I'm going to the mountain.
You better.
Well, you
See,
ain't
look,
in Judea,
it's
you in
instructions. Look, but you still where he coming from. You still where he coming to. You're in the safety zone.
Safety zone.
You're in the safety of that mountain. If you be in Judea. Thomas, what you smiling like you done hit pick 3 midday?
Judea. I don't know where Judea is. They got a street called Judea here.
Well, it's on
That's
the
about
south
the
side.
closest you can come.
It's between Alabama and Virginia.
Say over on State Street.
Yeah.
That mean ain't nothing good happening over there.
We got any questions or concerns out there? Shalom, family. I hope it was some good understanding on that lesson today. I hope we feast well
No doubt, bro.
in spirit and truth.
You did have a question earlier in the class, but we kind of went past the subject matter, so I told him we'd bring it back up next year about Most High will.
Okay.
You don't remember?
Yes, sir. I got it back on my phone. I've done it before.
Hey, too bad about it business.
All right, family, we're going to get this closing prayer. And it is with the Most High's permission. And it's in the name of His only begotten and beloved Son,
Yes, sir.
our Lord and Savior and our Redeemer,
Yes, sir.
our uncrowned King,
Yes, sir.
Yahushua HaMashiach.
Yes, sir.
But we know Him as Jesus the Christ, y'all.
Yes.
Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms,
Read.
in the 108th chapter, it reads,
Pull it out.
Oh yeah, my heart is fixed. I will sing and give praise even with my glory.
Yes.
Awake, psaltery and harp. I myself will awake early. I will praise thee, O Master,
Yes.
among the people, and I will sing praises unto thee among the nations. For thy mercy is great above the heavens,
Yes, sir.
and thy truth reacheth unto the clouds. Be thou exalted, O Yahweh,
Yes.
above the heavens,
Yes.
and thy glory above all the earth,
Yes.
that thy beloved may be delivered. Save with thy right hand, and answer me. Yah hath spoken in his holiness.
Yes, sir.
I will rejoice.
Yes.
I will divide Shechem and mete out the valley of Sukkot.
Yes, sir.
Gilead is mine.
Yes, sir.
Manasseh is mine.
Yes, sir.
Ephraim also is the strength of mine head. Judah is my lawgiver.
Yes, sir.
Moab is my washpot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Over Philistia will I triumph. Who will bring me into the strong city? Who will lead me into Edom? Will not thou, O Yah, who has cast us off? And will not thou, O Yah, go forth with our host? Give us help from trouble, for vain is the help of man.
Yes.
Through Yah we shall do valiantly.
Yes.
For he it is that shall tread down our enemies. Hallelujah! Say loud!
Boy, yes, sir. Boy, you do that thing. Do that thing. I don't pray if y'all got a shekel or two, y'all. We greatly appreciate it. Thank y'all for what y'all do for us.
I just checked.
Thank y'all. It's red.